Come on, like I said, we're in the heart of it all. This is the birthplace of GNCC. I got to ask you one more time. Are you ready to go? GNCC Racing! 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at a Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com Mountaineer Run GNCC. $250 up for grabs as our riders roll into the first turn. It is Jay Shadron, the young rookie out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, taking the early lead in this one. Shadron once again on a Waynesburg Yamaha, backed by GBC and Fly. He is flying, and man, I tell you what, those dusty conditions in these open fields are going to be a big advantage. $100 hole shot coming up for the XC2 Pro-Am, which include Cole Richardson, Randy Hamilton, Blake Kramer, James Green, Jonathan Fugate, Tommy Kuntz, Ryan Ratliff, Rylan Johnson, Luke Upal, Martin Christopherson, Luke Shepard, Stephen Michael Cunningham, Kanan Summerfield, Matt Hanna, and Marshall Goings in 10 seconds. And they are off. Mad dash of that first turn. $100 hole shot up for grabs right here. And I didn't quite catch that one. Big John radioing that one in. We'll try to get that one, but I'm not sure who got the actual call on that hole shot. But Junior A 22 plus coming up next. We got Wes Kinsley, Michael Marley, also Nathan Hornacek, Michael McAvoy, Chuck Norris, Robbie Picareri, also Michael Fulton, Matthew Lamberti, Austin Parks, Kevin Patterson. 10 seconds. Adam Upal, Cole Williamson, Matthew King, Jordan Dodson, Ben Bruce, Doug Harden, and Michael Merrill. Trying to sort this one out through the first few turns also. Is that the 3-1-1 possibly, or 3-1-3 of Matthew Lamberti, one of the front runners it looks like, as we go to the Vet 8 28 plus class. Max's Hauser Sick Racing, 42-year-old Todd Demery, along with Nicholas Carnhill, Bill Marstiller, John Cunningham, Thomas Jarsky, Walter Schumacher, Mike Daughtery, Josh Whitehead, James McCartan, Matt Pierce. 10 seconds for Bet A 28 plus. Todd Demery, the 42-year-old we talk about so often in this one, taking it to the ranks once again, out front early on, and he is going to be tough to beat, the oldest guy in the class, besting some of those guys by nearly 14 years. College A coming up next. Kevin McCohen, Blake Tornes, Levi Cohen, who was featured in Tuesday Toolbox on GNCCRacing.com. Also Clint Craft, Billy Hartman, Bryson Hops, Dalton Doglovich. 10 seconds. Also Brandon Hess, Daryl Pitzer, Kyle Pettis, Logan Wagaman, Devin Masters, Justin Hess, Cameron Bruce, Christian Meyer, Cody McClung, Jason Cochran, Greg Covert, Steve Covert, Dwight Pollard, Kenny Schick, Anthony Herring, and Mitch Miller. And the battle continues. Senior AB, 38 plus, coming up next. Riders like John Glotta, Aaron Delancey, Leroy Shook, Jeffrey Flynn, Bernie Weishauer, Dave Naylor, Jeremy Rowan, David Kyle, Brian Foltz, and Arthur Blystone ready to roll on Ricky Towery's cue as the dust settles from the first couple of turns. These open field sections very dusty. Not so much out in the woods atop this mountain, though, as we turn our attention back to Ricky Towery as he gets these riders ready for yet another start. This is row number 5. And Ricky says, let's get set to roll in a matter of only 10 seconds. And they're off. Senior AB 38 plus class. Coming up next, Junior B, we go to our B classes, and I said 17. That was 17 rows this morning. We got 9 rows this afternoon. Junior B 22 plus class, this is row 7 of 9. Justin Paul, Jason Diller, Jesse Kelly, Justin Ratliff, Brett Pike, Anthony Trigler, Joshua Lynn, Jacob McMillan, Jay Turner, Roger Hearn, Alan Blavos, Travis Jones, Kenneth Kelly, George Meese, Chris Siriana, Robert Matt Everly, Drew Carl, Jason Ellis. Also Mitchell Boyce, Simon Bissell, Justin Farrell, and more in 10 seconds. Zachary Lipscomb, John Krebs, Ryan Cotton, and Justin Cotton. There's Zach Catan, whichever it may be. It's the 499 getting the jump off of this one. That's Simon Bissell out of Lewiston, New York. I don't think anybody's going to stop him until they get to the wood section right now. He is on fire right now. That B 30 plus class rolling. Whoa, nice little get off there in the second turn. Looks like everything's going to be okay, but the Vet 30 plus class coming up next is the B class, the Marlboro man. That's old Todd Mascala. Also, QuadZone.com's Michael Super Trap out there with the same lamp. Joe Kraselitz, also Rocky Anderson, Tom Boberwitz, Michael Shelley, Jeremy Gouchard, Kevin Wright, Alan Tuttle, Mark Batson, Daniel Webb, Nick Adams, and Philip Thayer. 10 seconds as we look through the dust of the first turn. That dust will settle fast. Another battle wages right behind it. It's the 67, the Marlboro man, Todd Mascala, out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, taking it to the front of the pack in this one. 33 years old in this class. And look at that, he's got a battle already shaping up. College B coming up next. We're talking riders 16 to 21 like Tyler McDaniel, Cole Smith, Michael Spalding, Travis Margwa, Derek Stickles, Dakota Britt, Tommy Lyons, Brenton Riffle, Scott Black, J.D. Brown, Xander Off, also Brad Pearson. That's Fluffy, by the way, old Xander, X-Man. Brad Pearson, Tyler Welch, Brandon Eichert, I should say, Nicholas Mastroliangelo. We've got Braden Schick, Nathan Burkholder, Nick Burkholder, Cameron Yockey, Jason Bush. Also Reese Parvin, Corey Silverthorne, and more in 10 seconds. Noah Landis, Roger Norman, Brian Wildman, Anthony Barnes, Hunter Grimes, Levi Metziger, Michael Musey, Ryan Henderson, and Jeremy Hill. Off and rolling into that first turn now as our race day is officially underway here, and all systems go on lap number 1. As our pro class makes their way and leads the field around here today. We'll be checking in with them as well as Fred Andrews here at the finish line coming up in just a couple moments as GNCC Live continues here on RacerTV.com.
They're the best.
Here we got one still coming, guys. Don't cross the start.
And they're coming your way every day on RacerTV.com. Check out all the action from the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis and AMA National Championship. With live race coverage every week and weekend wrap-up shows, RacerTV has everything you need to know about the fastest riders in the woods. It's all on RacerTV. All racing, all the time.
And welcome back to GNCC Live as we come live from Marvin's Mountaintop, Masontown, West Virginia, where the young rookie, Jay Shadron, at last check, after grabbing the hole shot, continued to hold on to the lead here in the rocky terrain of West Virginia. Of course, the halfway point of this 2014 season, and a good time for this kid to start spreading his wings. There's no doubt about it. A beautiful sunshiny day greeting us here, and of course Fred Andrews is going to be joining us here in just a couple of moments as we'll give you the play-by-play of the race call of what's going on here in GNCC Live. But right now, for those of you folks that are joining us and not real sure what GNCC is all about, we put together this little program called GNCC 101. Check it out.
Folks, the hardest thing about racing is learning to go fast. But we're going to get you up to speed quickly with everything you need to know about Grand National Cross Country Racing with GNCC 101. By definition, Grand National Cross Country Racing is a cross-country style motorsports race. We race ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides here, and depending on the event schedule, you'll see 6 to 7 races on a given weekend. Some feature riders as young as age 4, and there's even classes for riders over the age of 60. GNCC racers come from all 50 states, as well as numerous countries from around the world, because this is the prestigious championship they're all chasing. Every GNCC race starts with the dead engine start, which means the engines are turned off until the starter waves the green flag. Each rider lines up on the designated row of his or her class, and with the wave of the green, the race is on. From there, the strategy's simple. Get to the finish line as fast as you can. The racetrack is actually designated not by established trail, but by race arrows. And with some exceptions, the riders must stay within 25 feet of the arrows all the way around the track. The riders don't get to practice or pre-run the course before the race either. They're essentially learning it while they're racing and following the arrows. However, riders can walk the track at designated times prior to their race day. A GNCC racetrack includes just about everything, including trails, footpaths, roads, hills, motocross tracks, any terrain that you can navigate with a dirt bike, an ATV, or a side-by-side. You can expect to see a little bit of everything on a given race weekend. The tracks are typically between 9 and 12 miles long for the afternoon race, and a little bit shorter for the youth, amateur, and side-by-side races. If you're watching the racing and you're trying to pick out the fastest riders, the XC1 or Pro level racers are going to be running red number plate backgrounds with white numbers on them, and the XC2 Pro Lights riders will be running green number plates with white numbers. The points leader in each class will have their number plate colors reversed. Flags are key here too. The green flag, of course, signals the start of the race. A yellow flag signals caution. The 2-lap board means there's 2 laps remaining, and the white flag signals 1 lap to go. The checkered flag signals the race is over, but you already knew that. Riders are scored electronically when they cross the finish line via a transponder mounted on their bike. Then the overall position and times are adjusted according to the row in which each racer started on. Once the race is over, we invite the top 3 finishers in both pro classes to be interviewed on the Maxis Victory Lane podium, and the top riders in every class are awarded trophies. So now you're close to being a certified expert on GNCC racing. But if you want to learn more, check out the series website at GNCCRacing.com. Or do it the new way and just follow the series on the following social media sites. They'll tell you everything you need to know. After that, we'll see you at the races, and we'll talk to you about it in person.
And welcome back here to Masontown, West Virginia. Rodney Tomlin along with Fred Andrews. A good look at what's going on in GNCC 101. A good look at somebody that's following that to a T right now. Look at that. The young rookie of Jay Shadron is leading this one. Where is second place right now, Fred Andrews? I do not even see this second place ride. We're talking these guys have, I think, already checked in for a lap.
Man, he is checked out, Rodney. There's nobody coming.
Wow, I don't know. That's an oddity. Now, I'm not going to say an oddity or anything out of the ordinary as far as anything funny taking place out there, but I'll say that it is certainly a rather interesting and intriguing set of circumstances that is leading to where we are right now, I'm quite sure. Of course, not so intriguing. We saw the young Shadron take the early lead in this when he grabbed the hole shot, got an extra $250 in the process. About 15 minutes into this race right now, and I really didn't catch. I saw it look like maybe a Suzuki coming up behind. I don't know if that was Bithell or Borge or both of them coming in behind him in second and third, but I'm just totally amazed still at what the young rookie has been able to achieve, especially if you look at his results. They haven't been the stellar results that we saw him in his ranks as an amateur rider working up, but I tell you what, this is a good place for things to start clicking for him at halfway point.
Yeah, you know too, Rodney, he's got the good start, and he's just running. You know, he's running as fast as he can, and maybe this is what he's used to riding. You know, he may have a lot of this at home, and he's been up front before, so he knows what it takes, and maybe today he's going to put it all together and show these guys.
Now, I know there's a lot of dust in the air right now. We're watching these guys come down off the mountain, Fred, and watching on the start, we saw the dust. In the open field sections, we saw the dust, and you know, some of the woods, I think, maybe actually a little dusty. We are at a higher elevation, so everything runs off here pretty quick, and there's a constant wind and stuff. So will dust be in the woods out there today? Did you get a chance to go out and check out and see what the moisture content was like or anything like that?
Yeah, Rodney, I looked at it a little bit. I think the woods is going to be perfect. It's going to dry up a little bit more as the day goes on, but you know, the little bit of dust in the field we can deal with because we're really doing a lot more racing in the woods, and there's actually some water holes out there right now. I saw some mud, and you know, West Virginia is famous for having rocks, so we got some nice little rock gardens out there, so there's going to be a lot of things out there to challenge everybody today.
For sure, and you know what I would think would keep these guys together, the rock gardens and the technicalities of this particular track, Fred. I'm kind of surprised that things have separated like they have, but a couple of different factors as we take a look into that. I think that's Brent Sturdivant coming through now. But if we take a look at the factors, the dust off the start, I think he was able to establish a little bit of a lead there. And like you said, the comfort of riding Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania is not far from where we are right now. And talking to a lot of folks, he's used to riding these types of conditions. So maybe he does feel at home, and maybe that whole shot gave him that little boost of confidence and that energy shot that he needed. Now, will it last for 2 hours? That's the big question. When you get a big gap like this, it's a lot easier to make it last, but also it's a lot easier to find yourself falling into a little slower pace when there's nobody pushing you.
Yeah, Rodney, too, and sometimes when you get that big lead in the front and you're thinking, man, I'm really showing these guys what I'm made of today, and then all of a sudden they start nicking you, and then you know, your confidence gets busted up a little bit and you start to fall back. But, you know, today could be Chadron's day. He made us put it all together and just show him.
For sure, as we continue to watch now, and still, I mean, I'm catching some of these guys coming through, so I don't think these guys have really settled in. Now, here's one of those wood shots, and this answers the question of how dusty the woods are. They're not dusty. They are dry, but they're not dusty. So.
Yeah, you know, Rodney, as you can see right there, there's barely even any sun getting through all those leaves. You know, it's got little dark spots here and there, so, you know, that may put a little bit of a factor to the riders today. You know, if they got some tinted lenses on. For the open sections out there in the fields would be good, but in the woods it may be a little dark for them.
Yes, it will. Bryson Neal going through on the number 9 there, I think, there just a moment ago. And this is out near the 6-mile marker, if I'm not mistaken, Fred. And that right there may be our leader in the XC2 Pro-Am class.
You know, Rodney, just look how those bikes go across those rocks. You know, they're going through them like nothing right now. A little bit of bouncing around and straight through them, where, you know, a motorcycle with just 2 wheels, they're going to hit them rocks and they're going to be deflecting everywhere. So them quads really got an advantage on those rock gardens.
That's what I was going to ask. Who does have the advantage? I mean, sometimes I'm sure it's an even cut if you look at the big pictures and everything. But I think that makes a lot of sense. The bike guys will be getting bounced around a lot, where those guys have a lot more even and stable footing through that section, I think.
Yeah, you know, when a motorcycle goes through that rock garden there, they could catch a rock with the front wheel and take their front wheel out, where the quads, you know, they got 2 front wheels, so they're more or less just kind of skating over it and floating over it and making it look really easy, because it's not that easy.
No, it's not making it look easy. One thing I can say, I rode the UTV race, which, by the way, we will be having UTV or side-by-side racing coming up here on GNCCLive in a little bit, about 4:30 after we conclude with the ATV broadcast here today. But I rode this race last year with Larry Hendershot, one of the Can-Am factory team drivers out there. And let me tell you, man, this is no place for the timid, that's for sure. The rocks, they just seem to grow, and you can see one off to the edge of the track there. It's about 1.5 foot high, and there's another, and this place is just littered with those types of things. I mean, we talk about this is a mountain top, so you know, it seems like there's a lot of those big boulders or big rocks that are just kind of jutting out of the soils and in between the trees out there.
You know, Rodney, too, and the more that we go around this track is actually the more they start to grow. You know, we start getting some of the dirt away from the rocks. The rocks are actually getting bigger. And when you come in the pit area here, it's a nice, big, flat, grassy area, and it looks like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And when you get out there in the woods, you know, Mother Nature's got a lot more in store for you.
Approaching 20 minutes now into this race. Actually, I think we're a little past the 20-minute mark on lap number 1, and I'm not real sure. I think we're somewhere, about a 9-10 mile long track, if I'm not mistaken, regardless of the length. That should put us, 11 miles. So I was going to say that should put us somewhere around a 30-minute lap, 25 to 30-minute lap, depending on the speeds out there. And to me, I know in the back sections out here, Fred, there's some wide open sections. I know it looks like there's a lot of rocks and a lot of technical, but one thing about Marvin's Mountaintop, there's some wide open stuff out there also.
Yeah, you know, Rodney, too, that gives the guys a little bit of a rest spot. You know, you get those open spots, you can kind of sit back and regroup and rest, let your arms relax a little bit, and also you can kind of look around. If you got some nice long, you know, U-turns out there, you can look for your competition to see if anybody's catching you. And, you know, it's part of it. We got a little bit of everything here. I can't wait to see the mud section come up. Hopefully we got a camera there, because I heard this morning there's some guys actually getting stuck in there.
Wow, that'll be pretty cool if we can get a shot there. But Fred, you know, I keep alluding back to old school GNCC and being in the heartland of it all. These kind of places like this kind of reminds me of Fairmont, Hard Rock, and different places like that. I mean, this is truly, I think, where the grassroots of GNCC got started, in places like this right here.
Yeah, this is where Big Dave first came, you know, back in the day, and this is what we rode. You know, a lot more rock and a lot more technical stuff. And You know, we're kind of got a little bit more open sections in GNCC racing now, but the difference is, back when I did it, you know, we had 300 guys total. You know, now we've got 1,000 guys. So, you know, the track's got to be a little bit wider and a little bit different than when Big Dave started the whole series.
It's amazing the growth that this series has seen. AMSOIL GNCC Racing presented by Maxxis, not only America's premier off-road racing championship and AMA national championship, but also a world-recognized championship also on the motorcycle thing. For guys, man, I mean, there's only a handful of people that can make the claims of a World Enduro title, a gold medal, and a GNCC title. There's only, I think, David Knight, Juha Salmon, and Shane Watts are only the three that share those kind of honors. But whenever you start looking at it and putting in those types of ranks right there, that goes to show you what kind of prestige this particular series holds in the world.
Yeah, you know, Rodney, too, and for an American rider, it's not a big deal for us to go over to Europe and do the World Enduros. You know, we all want to win these GNCC, and those guys come over here trying to dethrone us and win our championship. So, yes, you're right. GNCC is, you know, the mainstay of racing here in America, and the European people, they want to come do what we do, and it's crazy how it started out. You know, like I said, back in '93 when I did it, you know, there was only a handful of Summers and myself and a few of us doing it, and the numbers were low, but the tracks were great and it was fun, and now everybody wants to do it. You know, now we got live TV, and man, it's just come along so far.
Would you have ever thought the first time you kicked your kickstart in 1993 down in the sands of Florida that particular kickstart would send you on a trail to where you are right now, to live TV even? I mean, that's crazy.
No, Rodney, you know, I never thought it would come this far, and actually when I did that first race, I never really thought I would make a career out of it, and, you know, it was a great move for me, and the GNCC was a great family, and I'm so happy to be here and still involved with it, and can't wait to see what comes along next.
Yep, and you know what's really neat and unique about Marvin's Mountaintop and Masontown, West Virginia? I mean, we're literally, probably 10 minutes from the town of Masontown itself, which is probably another 15 or 20 minutes road-wise as the crow flies, maybe 10 or 15 miles. But up here, man, I mean, getting back to this right here, I mean, is there any good memories, anything that, I mean, even driving into this facility had to probably take you back, I mean, to what? The roots of GNCC.
Yeah, you know, driving in here, Rodney, reminded me of going up to Hard Rock with Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear Hill. You know, we came in like this, and you saw rocks on the side of the road, and you're thinking, oh, man, I hope there's no rocks on the track. Well, you know they're going to be there, and it's just going up in the West Virginia mountains, it's just a good feeling. I love the country and the trees and the hills and the rocks and the people. I mean, we're going to get a lot of people here. You're going by people sitting outside of their trailers or their houses, and they're waving to you as you're driving by. You know, they're happy to see us, and that's what makes it really a lot of fun.
It is. And, you know, amazingly, the town of Masontown, I think, has something like, in the 2010 census, had something like 540 persons in the town, and the whole actual town itself only makes up about 3/4 of a square mile, less than 3/4 of a square mile, believe it or not. So it's a very, very small burg. A lot of people compressed into a small area, so to speak, but you know, it's no New York City by no stretch of the imagination. It's West Virginia, and it's like you say, man. I mean, they're all sitting out on their porches. The locals, even in town, around town, you know, there's a race. They don't even. A lot of them don't even know it's GNCC. They just know there's a race on Marvin's Mountaintop, and they're coming out here, and they're going to get out here and get in the woods and have a good time, kick off summer the right way. There's our leader right there. As you're watching GNCC Live on RacerTV.com. Jay Shadron. Let's put a clock on that rider right there and see just exactly how much of a lead does he have as he makes his way toward the finish line. I'm not sure exactly what mile marker we're at. I'm going to guess somewhere around the 7.5, possibly 8. We'll get a for sure update on that in just the 9-mile marker. So yeah, I was way off on that one. These guys are actually moving a little faster than I expected them to be moving, then, Fred. So there must be, he must have hit some of that open trail right there. We're already
at 20 seconds at least.
20 seconds. There's 25. This will be
probably pretty close to 30.
Yeah, exactly. It is going to be right at 30. And, yeah, it's
and that's really unusual, Rodney. Wow. Like you said, usually they're all bunched up together, and they're all, like, feeding off each other and learning from each other, and it's not happening, you know?
Yeah. I was sitting here with my mouth wide open, to be honest with you, at not only the fact that Jay's leading, and, again, that's not too much of a surprise, but just the lead that he's got. I didn't even think to stop and notice who was even running in the second-place position, believe it or not. Oh, wow. I tell you, but second and third starting to tighten things up there a little bit. I'm sure.
There's McGill.
Yeah, there's McGill. That looks about, what, around 5th and 6th place. Man, those guys are all spread out quite a bit. This is not a traditional thing, you know, and even Chris Borge, when I was talking to Chris Borge in the pre-race interviews today, he was talking about things like, you know, this being tight and technical and everybody getting bunched up and not being able to make any big breakaways or anything like that. So it's kind of surprising, really, to me, I think, honestly, to see these guys this spread out.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you, Rodney. I thought they would be all together, but maybe, you know, you could say that maybe they got hung up somewhere, but
yeah,
they all wouldn't have got spread out so much if one
yeah,
person got hung up. They would all be bunched up. So it's just playing a different card today.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, a lot of these guys might be looking at those rocks and saying they're growing the whole time. Somebody's going to end up ripping an A-arm off, and that's traditionally what happens here a lot, especially with these four-wheelers, you know, because they're a little wider. They do catch the rocks. They catch the trees. They're a lot of both, and they're a lot of both together. That's the crazy thing. A rock will throw you into a tree, or a tree will throw you into a rock or something like that, rip a skid plate off, bend an A-arm. I mean, make your day hard real fast, that's for sure.
Yeah, you never know. You know, sometimes you're pushing it and you feel like, man, I'm really on top of my game. The rocks are good. I got it going. And like you said, one big rock hits and ruins your day. So you're better off to – it's a long race. Like I've always said, you can't win the race in the first lap. No. You can only lose it. So we've got a long time.
Especially here. And I know that we had a chance to catch up with some of the riders leading into today's race. And I believe we'll get a chance to check in with those and listen to what they had to say about today's race, though. But as we look at this, Fred, we're 27.5 minutes into this race right now, pushing 28, and you know, I haven't seen the likes of these guys anywhere near the finish line yet. Not saying, well, that was the 9-mile marker we were at. I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to be somewhere in the probably 31, 32-minute range, maybe 29-minute range, depending on how fast they run between the 9 and the 11. And you know, we talked about getting to talk with these guys. I talked to Borch earlier this morning, and I know Chris also had a chance. The TV crew also had a chance to catch up with him. And like I said, man, I mean, his take on this race, I think, is about the same as ours. He's probably a little surprised right now, also.
Yeah, last year here in West Virginia, me and McGill had a last lap battle right at the end. Came up a little short. Me and him were battling pretty hard. Had to lead with probably like a half mile to go. A lapper got in front of me, blocked my line, and then he ended up getting past me. But hopefully this year we'll change that. We'll just be a little bit smarter, watch the lappers out in front. So we'll pay attention to that. And then, yeah, we won 5 out of 6 rounds so far, and not really getting bored with it. Like winning, like doing my thing, and always like the challenge. So we're looking forward to it today.
So evidently they're hearing us. They can't hear our producer. Okay, all right. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. But anyway, kind of got sidetracked on there. But anyway, what I was saying is Chris was talking about, you know, he doesn't like to lose, and you know, I've been hyping him up, and every time I hyped him up, I realized the more we hype him up, the madder that makes him, and he literally goes home and works that much harder because he doesn't want me to be able to say this guy's catching him, that guy's this. So he has gone on what I think a mission to try to totally. There goes Fowler, and there is that Suzuki. That looked like that might have been the Suzuki of Borch, and that might have been Bithell right behind him. So those second, third, fourth place guys are running close together now as they're still trying to chase down Shadron. There is.
Now we're coming to the finish.
Yep. So we should be seeing these guys right now, and there is Shadron in the vision right there as he crosses his first ever pro lap lead from wire to wire on that first lap. Lap time in the history book is going to be 30 minutes, and I think that's 18 seconds if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 18.6 seconds for Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. Now we get the official look, and we're watching. I mean, we all wait with bated breath right here watching these last turn chicanes right now. And here comes second place finally through the chicanes. And
that is unusual, Rodney. Really unusual to see such a big lead on the first lap.
It most definitely is. So we're looking at, that is actually, that's Borch.
Yep,
Borch. Borch in the number 2 spot. 39 seconds, 39.2 seconds back in the number 2 spot. This Jay Shadron, man, he could be for real today, man. And this boost of confidence that he's receiving after this first lap lead, the 40-second lead, you got to wonder, is he going to be able to maintain that, especially in these conditions and these types of terrain? being a pro rider and riding at this level. I mean, I even interviewed Jay earlier today, and we talked about the level that it took to step up to this. And I asked him, I said, are you ready? I said, you've had a chance. It's the halfway point, Jay. He said, yeah, it's time. He says, I'm going to go. He says, I want a podium today, but I'm certainly shooting for top 5, but I want podium today.
Huh. You know, Rodney, I'd like to have been inside Chris Borges' head when he went through the scoring thing and looked at the clock and it said 2 minus 38. I just wonder what he was thinking.
Yeah, when it said 11, then minus 38, 39 seconds, man. You know, you had to be thinking, oh my, I've got my work cut out for me. And here we are. We see these dusty conditions starting to prevail out in these open sections. But again, the woods are where Chris Borges are going to have to make up his time. I mean, Chris said he doesn't like pushing it in these types of conditions, and he doesn't. I mean, he's a smooth rider, so I think he'll be able to ride a little faster pace than what a lot of people can in these technical conditions. And, you know, even Chris said, you know, he's used to these kinds of tracks, so it's a matter of right now just playing your cards right. Chris is a seasoned veteran, a 5-time GNCC champion, 73 wins, I think, under his belt now, or 74, something like that. I got to go back and recount it. He's won so many of them, but regardless, you know, I mean, even, you know, he's playing these cards right. He's approaching this one timidly, at least on the first lap.
Yeah, I'm sure he's excited, but he's not worried. You know, he knows he can do it. He saw the big gap in the lead. He probably just thought, you know what, I'm just got to try to pick my pace up a little bit and catch up to Jay and see what happens. You know, I think maybe this next lap will make up.
Check this out right here. We got, with this craziness going on, I never even thought about it until just now when I looked down at the times here. Adjusted time could afford the XC2 Pro-Am class an opportunity to be in podium position here in the early part of the race. As we take a look, I'm going to break it down overall first. Actually, I'll go class first. The XC1 Pro class, Shadron and Borge, 39 seconds apart, another 7 seconds back to Brent Sturdivant. Now, Sturdivant, Montrose, West Virginia, another West Virginia guy. This is kind of his stomping ground in his home turf, so he should be doing okay. Walker Fowler is now back to 4th. Kevin Yoho in 5th, who's looking for his best ride of the year, he said this morning. Adam McGill is 6th. He's lost one, I think. Landon Wolf in 7th. Bryson Neal in 8th. That's number 9. The number 10 of Jared McClure is 10th. Or is 9th aboard the 10, and 341 Brian Wolf is rounding out the top 10. Johnny GNCC, as I like to call him, Johnny Gallagher, Johnny G, is 11th. Josh Merritt 12th. Pickens in 13th. Braden Henthorne, who's here with a broken jaw, didn't even make it to Loretta Lynn's a couple of weeks ago. Split his jaw, his dad told me, right in the middle of his chin, and both joints were broke free. And that guy, oh man, he's out there riding. And this has only been like 4 weeks ago or so, 5 weeks ago that even happened. So what a tough guy out there. And Chris Bithell, man, I thought Bithell was one of those front runners. If he was, he's dropped all the way back to 15th place in that pro class, Fred. And that's not a good place for a rider that calls this track Marvin's Mountaintop home. Says he's been racing here since 2002 in a lot of local races.
Wow, he's got his work cut out for him. You know, maybe the home turf advantage, maybe you know, seeing all his friends, and I'll give him some confidence and give him the extra strength he needs to run through the pack today. But man, he's got his work cut out for him because these guys are really going fast today. And I think the open sections are starting to get dusty, Rodney. But you know, the woods are good. Most of the track is in the woods, so that's where all the passing is going to be made, and it's going to be a good day.
It most certainly is. The XC2 Pro-Am right now, we're starting to see those guys check in. We talked about them. Cole Richardson, remember the phenomena out of Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. He is the young Walker Fellers. As we watch RacerTV.com, there is Shadron again. We'll keep an eye out there on that. But Cole Richardson, Marshall Goings has about a 39-second gap. That's almost deja vu from XC1 to XC2. Goings and Richardson, 39 seconds apart. Martin Christopherson out of Richford, New York. Wynoa rider number 564 running in 3rd. Tommy Kuntz, who scored a podium in Florida aboard the number 47 in 3rd place there in the Mudbucker, runs in 4th. Right now, Luke Upaw, the 452 in 5th. Stephen Michael Cunningham running in 6th aboard the 726. It is 24 Blake Kramer in 7th. James Green rounds out 8th spot. Randy Hamilton, who I think has won, I don't know if it's this year, I know he won last year, 21 and 9th in this class. And rounding out the top 10, we'll be watching for that here in just a moment. Is that Shadron at the next camera shot? That's how far ahead he is of these riders now. And there's Borge, another at least mile or so back in the number 2 spot. That's crazy.
And I'm not sure if that was Borch, man. He cut up a lot to him because he was down, 30-some seconds, and right now it looked like he was right on him.
Well, I think that's a different mile mark, to be honest with you. I think that's the second and third place. I think that was Montrose, West Virginia's Britt Sturdivant. I could be mistaken, but we'll be keeping an eye out here, watching this unfold. By the way, Jonathan Bugate, Beech Grove, Indiana. Okay, that was this is 1 mile marker. So that was just how big the gap is. I guess it's gotten that much bigger than Fred. So, wow, this is still all 1 mile marker footage we're watching right there. So that was Borch, I guess we saw going through. The camera was a little fuzzy through there, so they're working on that, giving you folks an idea back home that are watching on RacerTV.com. So that was Borch, not the number 11. I thought we saw another mile marker ahead or so. So sorry about the confusion. But still, man, I mean, we're looking at 45 seconds between first and second.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at the trail, Rodney. In there in the woods, it's moist. There's some rock in there. There's nice foliage. And
riders making their way toward the pit area. By the way, XC1 and XC2, remember we talked about overalls. I'll give you an idea right now. Cole Richardson, 4th place overall on adjusted time. If we take a look at his lap time, he turned to 31:15. That was 57 seconds slower than Jay Shadron's 30:18. But he's only 10 seconds off adjusted time from Britt Sturdivant. So that 3rd place position is starting to come under fire right now on the clock.
And too, Rodney, Cole had to come through a lot of riders to get that lap time. His lap times maybe look a little slower, but there's a lot of guys to pass out there. And as you can see from the quad trail, it's not like a motorcycle. These quad guys, it's a hard time for those guys to pass. And right now, it looks like they're coming through the pro row right now.
Yeah, literally, there is Shadron going through the pro pits right now, and we're going to put another clock on that, Fred. You can keep an eye on that, and I'll watch what's going on down pro row as we wait for second place. Amazing what's going on. You got to wonder if Chris Borch is even thinking about that kid right now. He's just probably thinking, let that kid do what he's going to do. If he wins, fine. If he breaks himself in two out there on the trail someplace, fine. One way or the other, I got to score my valuable championship points. I know that thought's going through his mind, but at the same time, he's thinking, geez, man, how's that kid doing this right now?
Yeah, I'm sure Chris, Chris doesn't want to lose. He wants to win it, that's for sure. But at the same time, Rodney's probably thinking, like you said, is this guy going to self-destruct? And he may be having a little bit of problem right now with his bike. And
yeah, was that a shock he was grabbing a hold of? 43 seconds, I think, is what we're looking at now. So that's opened up another 7 or 8 seconds, it looks like, Fred, from that 39. So actually about 5 or 6. But regardless, it's opening up. And again, we had Borch pointing down something on that front left-hand side. Is it an A-arm? Is it a shock? Is it a tire? What is it?
And too, that's unusual. Chris Borch, too, lose time to anybody. So, that adds a little bit more excitement to it. And I'm sure his dad and everybody right now is trying to figure out what he said. And when those guys are coming by the pit like that, you point at something and you yell something, you think, they can't hear you, but you sure think they should be able to. But, you forget the bike's running and it's just a lot of noise and confusion going on. So it'd be interesting to see if they really even got any communication going towards each other to try to fix what's wrong.
All right, where does that put Borch in the mindset now? If he's got some sort of an issue and the youngster, the young gun, the rookie out front and just walking the dog right now, where does that put you as as Chris Borch, Fred?
Well, Chris Borch is probably looking at the big picture right now, like you said, Rodney. He's thinking, well, maybe I do have a small problem. I'm better off to get the valuable championship points, get whatever I can today, and maybe at the pit stop, they'll be ready for me next lap, and it's something they can make a minor adjustment, and then if I lose a whole bunch of time, maybe I can try to make some up. But I'm sure he's a champion for a reason. He knows to take his time, and it's every race counts.
I guess one thing we can also point out is the fact that he probably has a little bit of buffer zone there, even though he don't want to use it up. Chris has got a rather healthy points lead if we take a look at the point standings right now. I know I'll pull them up right here and take a look at them. But if I'm not mistaken, I think we were somewhere in the neighborhood of 60, 70-point difference or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And if that's the case, that's a lot of points, and that's a lot of buffer zone. That's actually a couple of races that he could almost sit out and not have to worry about.
Yeah, well, that's something Chris is just going to, if he does have a problem, he's going to just add to his points lead. He's not worried about it. He knows he's done it before, so it'd be interesting to see the pit area. I like to see what they're going to do, if they're going to work on something, if they are going to change something. So this next lap's going to be really important when Chris comes around.
Yeah, what a great time for my phone to die, so I don't have the point standings pulled up, but we are watching out here. This, again, I think we saw them at the 1, and now out here at this section. Riders really don't seem to be pushing the envelope, and it's not because of temperatures. It's not like it's a hot day today at all, Fred. I don't think at all. As we do get the points pulled up here, it is a 171 to 128. 43-point difference, I think. And if you look at it in the overall, I think it might be a little different. In the overall point standings, I think there's about 4 points difference, about 39. Oh, that is the top 20 overall. The class point standings is what we were looking at.
Yeah, I was looking at the class standings there.
All right, sorry about that. We had.
It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. It's a comfort zone. It's a cushion that, like I said, he could afford at least one race anyway right now, and part of another race. So I mean, and the way that Chris rides, yeah, he could afford 2 races, and if he could come back and win outright, that would be something that would win a championship for him. So I mean, problems, not a big deal. Folks, don't forget, as we roll through this first lap of racing, if you're following along on the social medias, make sure you're hashtagging everything GNCCLive so we can group those all together. And we'll also be doing a nice little contest where we'll be giving away $250 in great AMSOIL products. What you want to do is tweet your podium finish predictions and hashtag it GNCCLive for a chance to win. And the winners will be chosen randomly. No, you don't have to get it right. All you got to do is just get on board, and you could win $250 in that great AMSOIL product. Again, just hashtag GNCCLive. It could be, you could talk about anybody you want, and we can still pull you up. You don't even have to be anywhere close to right. That's the cool thing. Just throw your names out there, the people you're cheering for, I guess. You know,
Rodney, one of the cool things was one of the riders that actually tweeted it out that won was actually here at the event.
Yeah.
That's really neat. You know, it's amazing media, how you can just use your phone. You can reach so many different people and so many different things. And there you go, just like 1993. Whoever thought you could communicate with your phone as much as you do now?
No doubt about it. That is some amazing stuff and amazing technology. Watching this stuff live, probably walking around the woods right now, as a matter of fact. And, you know, we also had a chance to talk to several other riders. You know, we were talking about Bithell being back in that number 15 spot there a few minutes ago, and also, you know, Chris, like I'd mentioned, he likes this place a lot, and we had a chance to talk to him about it this morning.
Coming in around 7, only 4 points behind 3rd place. It's not where I want to be. You know, I'd rather be up a little farther, but hey, I mean, I'll take it. It's racing. We've had our ups and our downs this year. You know, this is going to be, I think, a good race. We're in almost home state here in West Virginia, and it's pretty close, about an hour and a half from where I'm from. And I'm just kind of used to riding this kind of stuff, so I'm ready to get it.
And he is ready to get, even though he doesn't reflect that on the racetrack today. One thing I can say about Chris Bithell this year, a whole different attitude in that rider. Fred, I don't know how acquainted you are with CB4, but in the last couple of years, I almost have to think that he seemed, well, last year especially, just seemed to be kind of disgruntled, frustrated, not at home, it didn't feel like in GNCC. I mean, it was I hate to say it about him, but he had a negative energy where I didn't even like going around his pits. And sometimes that happens, unfortunately, where I don't know whether it's burnout, frustration, problems with sponsors, problems at home, whether there's no problem and he's just a plain old butthole or whatever the case may be. But this year, he's a whole different guy. I mean, Chris Bithell has a big smile on his face, and, you know, we've seen good results out of him, we've seen bad results out of him, but he's still the same chipper Chris Bithell. That's good. You
know, Rod, it's all about keeping the fun in what you're doing. You know, last year maybe he was taking a little bit too serious and was letting things get to him, you know, and that takes all the fun out of riding a quad and doing something that you love. You know, this year he's turned it around, he's having fun racing, and his results are getting better. So, you know, keeping things fun keeps you motivated and keeps you wanting to come back.
Yeah, and keep him coming back. And this is what I like about, speaking of coming back here to West Virginia, man. I love this. I remember when I first started, Parkersburg, West Virginia, I talk about it all the time, that great battle that I think it was that you and Scott Summers or Rodney Smith had that battle right down to the podium. I mean, you paddled past the finish line, and then you battled and tried to pass each other up onto the podium, still fighting to see who won.
You know, that was a fun thing back in the day. You know, we were all good friends, and we all trusted each other, but neither one of us would give an inch, and it was fun battling like that. And being a hunter right now, Rodney, I see a tree stand right there in that tree.
A good place to watch Jay Shadron continue to hold on to the lead as we got another clock on him right now. I'm going to watch him wait and see what happens. Whenever that rider, next rider disappears out of sight, 6 mile markers where we're at right now, and that's pretty much close to halfway, a little past the halfway point. 40 seconds, then we had a 43-second gap, and right now I'm looking at 20 seconds right now.
Man, it's amazing. Amazing that, he still has such a big lead this first lap. Like I said, maybe everything's going for Jay, and today is his day. It looks like he's really riding good, and hopefully he can hold it together.
25 seconds before I even caught a glimpse of Chris Borich, and wow, make that 30 seconds,
yeah.
about 37 seconds. So he's starting to clip away. Whatever he pointed at, if they might have fixed it out there on the trail or something like that. But crazy, man, that right there is crazy. Borich is starting to put his head down and starting to close that gap up. It's only a few seconds, but a few seconds is better than nothing at this point. There is the third place ride. Is that Richardson now? Maybe up to, no, that was a red number ground. That's Walker Fowler. He's gotten around Sturdivant, it looks like, for the number 3 ride. Okay, that explains it. So Walker Fowler now moving into the number 3 spot. We got the rookie Jay Shadron leading Chris Borich, and now Walker Fowler in the number 3 spot. We're 47, almost 48 minutes into this race. And, of course, who's going to win? Is Jay Shadron going to be able to hang on to this? Will Chris Borich be able to chip away at that lead and give us the patented last lap Borich, as he has so many times and so often in GNCC racing? Well, those questions and more are going to be answered over the course of the next hour and 10 minutes or so when GNCC Live continues here on RacerTV.com. And welcome back to Marvin's Mountaintop, round 7 of America's Premier Off-Road Racing Championship, this AMSOIL GNCC Series presented by Maxxis and AMA National Championship. This is, get ready for the longest GNCC title in the history of GNCC names. The Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com Mountaineer Run GNCC.
Now that is a mouthful.
That was tough to say. I'm not going to lie, man. But regardless, the Mountaineer Run, I mean, this is true to the form, man. The Mountaineer right here, just outside of West Virginia University, which is home to the Mountaineers of West Virginia. But that not really playing as much of a role in it as just the plain old pioneer of West Virginia does, I think. And that's kind of where West Virginia University gets it also.
And I think some of the GNCC crew likes it because it's close to home. Everybody gets to sleep in their own bed for a change because, they do spend a lot of time on the road, and people don't understand the work that actually goes into making a race. You come here and you see all the banners up and all the track is all done, and Barry and his crew get here, 3 or 4 days before, and okay, it's all beautiful right now. Then they got to take it all back down, put it back the way it was.
We literally take and build a city each and every week. I mean, we're talking several thousand people each week, at least 5,000 to 10,000 people a weekend where, we come into a community. I mentioned Masontown, West Virginia, 3/4 of a mile, square mileage, 500 people. If you translate that, it'd be like 1,500 people, I think, or 1,200 and some people per square mile. And here in probably less than that or about that same time, right now, we got probably 6 or 7 times more people than what they have in the community down here. Is what's really crazy, man. I mean, we bring them out here, and and it's a lot of work. Barry Hawk, Dean Van Leeuwen, Jeff Russell, all these guys, man, got a chance to stay at home. Old Frankie, Gary Moore, he's been out here working all week, man. I mean, he got a chance to sleep in his own bed this week. I mean, it's just a great opportunity for these guys, and they seem to be a lot more chipper this week. It's almost like they're welcoming you to their house almost. It kind of personalizes it for them, I think.
Yeah, it's always nicer when you can sleep in your own bed and stay with your family, and visit with them because they're on the road so much. So, probably more than what the racers are.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I guarantee you. I know I spend more time on the road, or as much time as any racer out there. That's for sure.
Well, maybe the beginning of the year it would be fun when we're in Florida and it's snowing up here. And everybody wants to go down there and work then.
Yeah, I love that time of year. I love March and Daytona Bike Week. I love the mud muckers. I know Adam McGill hated it and still hates it. He asked me today, "Are we still going? We got to go back to that place next year." And I was like,
Adam goes back there and he wins next year. It's going to be the best track we got. So that is being a racer. We always hate the places we do bad, and if we win at a place, it could be the worst track ever, and we're going to say it's the greatest. So it's that's part of racing. It's fun, and I'm sure we'll go back and he'll do good and he'll like it next year. And
oh yeah.
I like these long lap times, Rodney.
I do too.
Because it's good for a racer. You don't get tired, and you don't look for the same bumps all the time. It's almost like new because it's taking you 30 minutes to get around there, so the laps are long, and you know you're not going to do a whole bunch of laps and get bored. So it still keeps it interesting.
Yeah, and you know that too. You know, I mean, it does, and it gives us an opportunity too, whenever we're waiting in between things, to get an opportunity to sometimes, you know, dive a little deeper into the GNCC Nation itself, and it gave us a chance to actually, well, get a word in with Johnny Gallagher earlier, and we get a chance to talk about that. And what I like to call Johnny Gallagher is, we call him Johnny G. Well, I now call him Johnny GNCC.
Yeah, coming in here to the Mountaineer this weekend, it's been kind of I'd say an up and down season, but it's been more of a down season. Honestly, it's been a struggle through the first 6 rounds so far, but made some changes, built a new bike, definitely ready to go for this weekend. Haven't really had, the last 2 years that we've been here, I haven't had the greatest of rides. This isn't exactly what I would call one of my favorite tracks, but with the conditions being technical like they are, definitely looking forward to putting in a good solid ride, hopefully getting out of here with the top 5 and working our way towards the Penton, which is definitely one of my more favorite tracks.
Well, tough break for Johnny. He's, how many seconds?
16.
16. Oh, my. Things are tightening up. We're out near the 9-mile marker. Saw the leaders going through as we were talking with Johnny Gallagher right there. Leaders going through the 9-mile marker. Jay Shadron only a 16-second lead now over Chris Borch. So whatever he
Chris
pointed,
Borch just dropped the hammer.
He did, man. He must have said, hey, lock this down, make sure this wheel's on tight, because I'm about ready to go into hyperdrive right now, and I don't want it falling apart. That must have been what he was telling the pit crew or something. I don't know what was going on over there.
You know, too, Rodney, he could have been hearing that sound, and he could see that it's not getting any worse, and the bike's still working good. It may be something, you know, just out of whack a little bit. It's not affecting him, so now he's just going after him.
So it's, wow, I'm just amazed from 40 seconds, 43 seconds down to 16 seconds here on this lap now. And, you know, Johnny Gallagher, I want to salute Johnny real quick. Coming off of his best year ever as a professional ATV GNCC racer, lining up in 3 different decades. That doesn't mean he's raced for 30 years, but this is his 20th year as a pro racer. So he's raced in 3 different decades as a pro rider over the course of 20 years, and he is Johnny GNCC. There's no doubt about it. You know, at 38 years old, man, I don't think he's ready to quit anytime soon. He's still got a lot of fight and fire in him, it looks like.
That he does. You know, it reminds me of my friend Al Chupa, which is from the same area as where Johnny Gallagher is. You know, this is in their blood. Johnny's dad was a great racer. You know, we lost him a while ago, and Johnny's still going with it. It's just, once it's in your blood, you just want to keep on doing it, and it's actually keeping them young and keeping them fit and keeping them excited. So, you know, my hat's off to Johnny for still doing it, and I'm sure he's going to be in the sport for a long time yet.
For sure, and good to have him. He'll be joining us tomorrow for the bike coverage of things. He's a great co-host, as you are yourself there, Fred Andrews. And watching this guy right here looks like he's taking a beating, a licking, if you will, out there on the trail, and he is still ticking, but he ain't ticking real fast and real hard right now, I don't think.
Yeah, he might have been asking him, hey, how many more laps do we got to go? And there's like, oh, you got at least 2 more. He's like, oh, well, you know, maybe I'm just going to cruise around and have some fun. And that's what he's out there for. You know, these top guys, they're out there to win money and to do good. And, you know, we got our sportsmen riders and our guys that just come out here for fun and enjoy their 4-wheelers. 3
minutes, 30 seconds. Our leaders due in. Ricky Towery grabbing the 2-lap board right now over by the finish line as we are setting the stage for the home stretch of this Mountaineer Run GNCC, and of course Jay Shadron's lead once again, 39 seconds. It had extended to 43 at one point, and now down to just 16 at the 9-mile marker at last check. A lot of variables coming into this one as we approach the halfway point. Could be getting a little tired. Could be that things are just what they are. You know, I mean, Borch is dropping the hammer, and I think that's probably playing a lot of that. I would imagine that probably Shadron at this point, at the halfway point, hasn't seen anyone, hasn't been pushed by anyone, running on pure adrenaline at this point in the race, just wondering where somebody is. And unfortunately for him, somebody's coming. They're going to give him that little nudge and that little wake-up call that he may be looking for, but unfortunately for him, it comes in the way of the defending GNCC champ and Chris Borch in that big #1 machine.
Yeah, Rodney, I think, you know, he may have been out there in the front, and he may have got a little bit bored of what was going on and lost sight of it. Now that Chris is catching him, maybe that will be the extra little spark that he'll need to keep on going. Or, you know, Chris may catch up to him, he may dog him for a while, and then he may let Chris by, and he may try running with Chris. So it may be, it may not be a bad thing. There, right there goes our leaders right there.
That is.
Let's see what our split time is.
Wow. That was Shadron.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Oh my gosh. We saw Barry Hawk standing out there at the top of that hill. At the top of that hill right there, and I think Barry's got an update that he's going to give to us here in just a second. And we're going to check in with him. We're getting closer to that 11-mile mark. We'll probably be seeing the leaders come in near the finish line here pretty soon. There's third place. There is Walker Fowler checking in now as we check in with Barry Hawk. Barry, what's going on, bud?
Rodney, I'm up here about the 10.5-mile marker, and Jay Shadron went by, and he had 10 seconds on Forage, and right now, Start Event's going by in third, and I believe that was McGill on him, and those two are wheel to wheel, but from the last time I seen Forage to Shadron, he put on 5 seconds on him, so Forage has got the hammer down, but Shadron is riding very well, very impressive ride.
10-4, I got to ask the question, is Shadron keeping the same pace he had, or has Borich just picked it up?
To me, it looks like Shadron's keeping the same pace, and it looks like, to me, it looks like Chris Borich is on his last lap pace, even though it's not the last lap. I think he realized he better put the hammer down, or he's going to, Jay Shadron would have got his first win, which he still may, but they're both riding impressive, that's for sure.
No doubt about it, Barry. They just came through the finish line right there. Thanks for the update. And 10 seconds now is translating into a official time of, well, 39 seconds to 6 seconds flat. It was 10 seconds. He's gained another lap times, 30 minutes and 6 seconds. Here's the difference, though, 29 minutes and 33 seconds for Chris Borich as he grabs a lot of time out there on that particular lap.
Yeah, he made up, what, almost 30 seconds out there somewhere, Rodney, but it's just putting his head down now, and he says, okay, it's time to go. Let me get closer to the lead, then maybe Chris will take a little bit of a break this lap and hammer down the last lap, or Chris may come into the pit and just keep on rolling. He's got his momentum going, so he's probably going to keep it.
Fowler 20 seconds back of that in third. I thought I seen Fowler go through in third. What Barry Hawk saw was Brent Sturdivant and Adam McGill battling for fourth. They're another 20 seconds behind Walker Fowler right now. About a second separated them, so it's Shadron, Borich, Fowler, Sturdivant, McGill, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 after 2 laps of racing complete. We're now an hour and 1 minute and 20 seconds into this race, and we're going to be taking a look at our Mid-State Chevy Midway report here in about 10 minutes. Going to give a few classes a chance to check in and see who our leaders are here in the Midway part of the race itself, Fred Andrews. But man, we are just utterly amazed at just what's going on right here, right now. I mean, like Barry said, Jay might be on his way to his first ever win as a rookie. That would definitely be monumental.
Yes, it would. And your first win, man, you never forget it, and to do it your rookie year would be cool.
And
really
to be able to do what he did and get that whole shot and get out there like he is, and now running with Chris Borich, trying to outrun him. We'll see whether or not he can do it. Can he do it? That question and more to be answered when GNCC Live continues here from Marvin's Mountaintop. It is the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com Mountaineer Run GNCC. And welcome back to the Mountaineer GNCC. It is the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com Mountaineer Run GNCC. And of course here in Masontown, West Virginia, high atop Marvin's Mountain, Rodney Tomlin along with Fred Andrews, and reports from the Chris Borich pits are a rock or something caught in the rear axle or in the possibly in the rear brakes, and that could account for maybe some of the extra speed that Chris Borich is seeing on that last lap. Not technically, but it definitely means that he's having to really rethink about things and put a lot of work and wear and tear on those front brakes right now.
Yeah, Rodney, and that's the funny part of it. When he came by the pit, he was leaning forward. It looks like he was pointing to something in the front.
Yeah.
And for a rock to get caught in the back, it's kind of weird. But, I mean, like you said, anything can happen. It doesn't seem like it's hurting him too much because he's actually caught the lead now. Him and Jay are really close together. So when they come in for the pit here, we're going to see, are they going to work on the front? They're going to work on the back, and they're going to give him gas. So it's going to be a really exciting pit coming up here.
Yeah, most certainly will. And this will be a critical pit for not only Chris Borich, but also the youngster of Jay Shadron, making sure that he gets in, he gets out, and makes things happen as quickly as he can, because being in this position, it's not often that he gets to be where he's at and being here right now, you know, he wants to try to maintain it and at least gauge where he's at the rest of the day. This last hour of racing is where the true tale of the tape is told. That first hour, like in the motorcycle side of things, the first 2 hours is one thing. It's the last hour that really, really gets these guys, and quite possibly could be some lap traffic that these guys might be rolling up on here fairly soon also.
Yeah, you know, and Jay's worked this hard to lead 2 laps. He's just not going to roll over and play dead. Even if Chris does catch him, he's going to fight him all the way to the finish. And even if Chris does get around, Jay's going to learn something from every corner that he can stay close to Chris. You know, that's part of it. You know, you want to learn, and if you're close to him like that, you're going to learn something every time you ride with Chris.
You're absolutely right. This could be a great learning experience for him. And there is that's got to be, was that Borch? I can't quite see that. I think that was Borch going through there. So did we see maybe Shadron going through a little before that possibly, or was that Shadron right there? That looked more like Borch to me. I need someone
I'm not
with a little
sure.
better eyes than myself. That was Bithell. Ah, that makes a lot of sense. No wonder we couldn't figure out who it was. It was Chris Bithell.
Okay, well, here's Borch in the pit.
Bithell.
We're going to see what they're going to be working on.
They're going back to the back. Oh, they're
I saw him pour some water on the rear rotor there, so maybe his rear brake's just a little bit hot.
That could very well be it, just heating it up and cooling it down. Now, what will that do? One would think pouring water on that, Fred, would actually make the brakes slick and not catch and grab nearly as much.
Well, it's not going to make the brakes slick because it only takes a second for that water to get heated up off the rotor, but actually throwing it on the rear disc actually makes the oil kind of messed up, you know. So it's not really a good thing to do, to throw water on a rear rotor like that.
Oh man, did you see that?
Yeah,
Walker Fowler, just his gas is.
Those dump cans, you know, sometimes the quick fills are made to be quick and they dump gas out of there quick. Well, hopefully they shut off, and as you can see in that picture, it didn't shut off in time, and he got some gas all over him.
Borch is telling us now, getting reports, Fred Andrews, from the pit crew over there, that he is saying his brakes are gone.
Yeah.
His brakes are gone, and this is not a good time for that to be happening. We're an hour and 10 minutes into this one. This is lap 3 of 4. So we got probably, I would venture to say we're 20 minutes, another 50 minutes or so in this race anyway.
Yeah, you know, with your rear brakes, if that is the problem, which is that's what they were working on with the rear brakes gone, so going to put a lot more pressure on the front brakes, which is, you know, you can stop, but you can't charge corners very hard. You can't do a lot of things as well, and, you know, he might be bumping off some people.
Wow, that is just some crazy things going on here at the 2013 running, or 2014 running here in Marvin's Mountaintop and this Mountaineer Run GNCC. I'm thinking about poor Walker Fowler. Let's talk a little bit about the gas splash now. You think, oh, okay, you got a little gas on him, no big deal. His pants are going to be wet. It's going to dry off, and things are going to be fine here in about a mile or two.
Things are going to start burning. It just burns and burns, and it can't, you know, it's a burn that won't stop. You know, you stop, you're going to pour water on yourself. It just doesn't happen without soap and water to get that gas off of you. And
I've literally seen guys leave the racetrack and go straight to their showers. I mean, and stripping down the every way they can, and it's not a good thing to have happen. And you know, it not only hurts, but it takes away from your mental concentration. I mean, it's a great way to make a good day go bad real fast.
Yeah, you're right. You know, and this could be Jay's day. You know, if Chris is having brake issues and Jay is still out there leading in the front, you know, Chris is going to have to start slowing down probably because he doesn't have any brakes, and that could give Jay the confidence to say, hey, I'm starting to pull him again, because he doesn't know he's got brake problems, and that'll, you know, mentally that'll say, hey, I'm winning, let's go, and it'll give him more of a
that advantage, that confidence he's looking for.
Confidence that he's looking for to go forward and put some more time on the crowd.
Cole Richardson, we saw in the Yamaha pits there a moment ago, leading the XC2 Pro-Am class. Marshall Goings now 30 seconds back. So he's gained 10 seconds. He was 39 seconds back, too, so he's gaining some ground back there right now. Martin Christopherson still running in the number 3 spot. There.
It looks like Johnny's getting some work done here to the front of his bike.
Oh, man. Look at that. Johnny's
looks
doing
like an
it
AR
himself.
maybe?
So see right there, that's Johnny GNCC. That's what I'm talking about. Johnny Gallagher grabbing the screw gun, still got his helmet on, is literally changing this out by himself. They're working on an A-arm.
Wow, you know, that just shows he's a racer, mechanic, TV announcer. Well, Johnny GNCC can do it all.
They're taking it off, and now they're taking it off of his practice bike. He had that bike out yesterday riding with Chris Bach. They went someplace around here, went riding someplace. But now he's taking that off there. Now there's Mark Notman. That is actually Walker Fowler's mechanic. He's coming down to lend some assistance, it looks like. But Johnny's doing the most of it by himself. That is, I mean, he truly is Johnny GNCC right there. And that's old. And you know what better way to have this happening, Fred? Think about this. We talk about old school. We talk about homecomings. We talk about reunions. We're reuniting with the old ways, the new era and the new ways, so to speak. And Johnny Gallagher's doing his own mechanic work out there.
You know, and it shows you, too, that Johnny Gallagher is a racer, but he also is an enthusiast. He loves to ride because at this point, he knows he's not going to get any points for the top 10. He knows he's out of the points. But he wants to get his bike fixed so he can go out there and enjoy riding around here in West Virginia.
Mark Notman has taken over the helm on this, and he says, come on, buddy, let me do this. There's Tracy Checo Pickens. That is Jeff Pickens' wife, and she is also a former 9-time women's GNCC champ, man. I mean, crazy things there, to say the least, and she's helping out Johnny. Johnny always there in the pits for her throughout her tenure as a champion, and there you go, getting him a drink of water. Well, Johnny, I wish we had a microphone down there. I'd interview him right now. Here you go, Johnny. Jen Kenyon not making it with us today, and this is one of the days that would probably be the perfect time for her to be in the pits right now.
Yeah, you know, if you did interview Johnny right now, he'd tell you, you know, he hit one of the many rocks out there probably and bent his A-arm, and he just wants to get that bike fixed and get back out there and have fun.
Did you see how quick that happened? I mean, literally, I mean, it took a couple minutes, but how quick that went from that practice bike onto that bike, and there goes Johnny Gallagher. Way to go, Mark Notman. Walker Fowler, he raves about his mechanic, Mark Notman. And Mark used to be a GNCC racer himself, up from close to your stomping grounds, actually.
Yeah, and actually, Mark actually worked for my parents at our motorcycle shop, was a great employee. And, you know, he's an enthusiast. He loves racing. And, you know, he found out that he wasn't going to be the champion that he was going to be, that he wanted to be, so Walker needed help. And, you know, now he's racing through Walker. He's building Walker the best possible Yamahas he can. And Walker's winning races, and that's just like Mark winning races.
Exactly, it is, exactly. And folks, get ready. Upcoming RacerTV.com schedule and your Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com look at that tells us that GNCC, the General, will be on. That's today, tonight at 6:30. So when we get done racing here, we're going to race the UTVs. We'll be able to go over to NBC Sports Network and watch at 6:30. So it's an all GNCC day, it looks like. Get ready, my friends. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we'll be back live here at the Mountaineer Run GNCC. Next Saturday and Sunday, actually 2 weeks from now, June 7th and 8th, we'll be going to the John Penton GNCC. We'll have ATV and UTV races there. And on Sunday, June 8th, it's the John Penton bike. And for some reason, man, I'm thinking back to 1997. June 8th. You know where you were in June 8th, 1997?
No, sir.
Manahawkin, New Jersey. Remember that?
I think that's where I tore my knee up.
Is that where you tore your knee up? Manahawkin, New Jersey, man. That's hard to believe. That was, what was that, Ship's Bottom or something like that? I can't remember the exact name, but one of 2 races we held out there in New Jersey. Just, I don't know, I seen that date and it came to mind for some reason. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Funny what you remember sometimes.
It is, isn't it?
And you know, as you can see some of the track now with the wind blowing like it is, even though it's dusty out in the open, Rodney, it's just blowing out of the way, and it's not
fast.
Dust is not a factor.
All right, let's take a look at our Mid-State Chevy Midway Report. And, of course, the Mid-State Chevy Midway Report brought to you by Mid-State Chevrolet, located at I-79 in Flatwoods, West Virginia. And Mid-State Chevy, they stack them deep, they sell them cheap. I was talking with Kenny Payne from down there. He's telling me, man, he goes, you wouldn't believe the amount of trucks and cars and vans that we're selling to the GNCC racing families. But he also told me, he said, we want to sell more, and they're going to drop the prices. You tell them that you came from GNCC Racing and you're part of the GNCC Racing Nation, but I would suggest that you do that. It might be a little bit to your advantage if you know what I mean. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on out here at the Midway Report. I think we're going to catch up with the leaders, and we got a new leader. Mid-State Chevy Report shows a new leader, Chris Borch. No brakes. He's not
no
been
brakes,
able to
Borch.
No brakes, Borch. Hasn't been able to slow down. Hasn't been able to stop, and he goes right by the number 11 of Shadron. And Shadron now feeling pressure from the number 2 of Walker Fowler. So all of a sudden, at the halfway point, The young rookie's life has turned upside down, so to speak, and not only does he have it from the 5-time GNCC champ, but he's also got it from the hungriest guy on the trail besides the champ right now, and himself, and that's Walker Fowler.
Man, this is what we expected the first few laps, all three of these guys fighting it out, you know, and they got stretched out, and we thought it was going to be a little bit of a runaway, and then Walker and Chris are showing us, you know, what champions they are, and they've reeled them in, and it's going to be a great battle.
I believe that's still Brent Sturdivant back in the number 4 position as we see that gap opening up from about 20 seconds now, probably closer to 30 between 3rd and 4th place positions. Might as well say 2nd and 4th place positions now, the way they were going at it there with Shadron and Fowler. And rounding out the top 5, this should be McGill. McGill showing his signs of struggles today. And no, that's not McGill. That's a Yamaha ride right there. That could very well be Brian Wolf getting around McGill. Wow, so big changes going on here at the Midway Report. And Brian Wolf now moves into 5th. That's unofficial, but big news. Chris Borich out front. And let's take a look at the rest of our classes now. Cole Richardson leading the XC2 Pro-Am. Marshall Goings in 2nd. Christopherson in 3rd. Blake Kramer in 4th. It's James Green rounding out the top 5. As we take a look at the College A class, Clint Graff out of Harrisville, Pennsylvania, 28-second lead over the 5'10" of Cody McClung now out of Kennerdale, Pennsylvania. He runs 2nd. 3rd, the 741 of Kenny Schick out of Newcastle, PA, about 4 seconds off in the number 3 spot. In 4th place, Blake Tornes, who has won the overall amateur top spot so far this year, once anyway, out of Waterford, Ohio. Rounding out the top 5, we got Kevin McCowan out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland there in that College A 16 to 21-year-old class. Top 5 at the midway point in the Junior A class, Michael Marley out of Osgood, Indiana, the 6th, or the 31. That's actually the younger brother of Fred Marley, who is one of our top XC2 Pro-Am riders. Well, this rider leading by 59 seconds now over Robbie Picareri, the 226 out of Aston, Pennsylvania. Then we got Wes Kinsley, the 28 out of Morgantown, West Virginia. Michael Fulton from Waterford, Ohio, running in the number 4 spot. And rounding out the top 5, Doug Harden, the Junior A 22 plus, rounds out the top 5 in that at an hour now and 19 minutes into this race. Matt Pierce leading the Vet A class out of Corning, Ohio, over Josh Whitehead, 57 seconds. Big gaps opening up there. Back to the 3rd place position, the 51 of Todd Demery. Demery, the 42-year-old rider we talk about, that Southern Indiana cross-country racer, Demery Motorsports ride. He's a former pro rider and started racing the amateur rank several years ago and has basically dedicated his career to other riders and coming out and having a good time at the same time. Well, he's in 3rd right now. That's not a typical place we're used to seeing him, but again, he gives up 14 years over the youngest guys in this class. Nick Cottle running in the number 4 spot. Cottle out of Concord, North Carolina. It looks like John Cunningham from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, rounds out the top 5 in that Vet A 28 plus. The 38 plus class, as we check in with the leaders once more out here at the 6-mile marker. That's, I believe, some of the XC2 and maybe College A guys starting to come in. Senior A B38 plus class now. John Glotta leading Waxhaw, North Carolina's John Glotta, the 38. I thought John might have moved, man. I don't remember him being from Waxhaw. But Leroy Shook, the 51, running in the number 2 spot. He's out of Oldfields, West Virginia. Then we got 3rd spot, the 49 of Aaron Delancey out of St. Louisville, Ohio. 4th place is Brian Foltz, the 530 from Sharpsville, PA. And rounding out the top 5, 352, Dave Naylor out of Hamilton, West Virginia. And big battle going on between Leroy Shook and Aaron Delancey right now. Only 1 second separating those two riders. And Delancey turning about a 25-second faster lap that time. So, in theory, should be able to make the pass. We'll see, though, when we check in next time. College V 16 to 21. Brandon Eichert leading J.B. Brown there out of Hickory, North Carolina is Eichert. Valley Head, West Virginia is Brown. 27.5 seconds between the two. Braden Schick, 4th, 88 in 3rd. Anthony Barnes, the 707 out of Papaw, West Virginia. I love saying that. In 4th place. And in 5th place, Jeremy Hill out of Pacific, Missouri on the 911. Papaw. Junior B 22 plus class. Alan Blavos is your leader there out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, home of the race that I saw and witnessed there with, what was the name of that one, by the way, Fred? Do you recall that one in Parkersburg?
Nope, you've got
Starvation.
me blank.
No,
Starvation Point.
Yep, I think that one might have been it.
We actually started in a building there one year.
Yeah, that was
we went through the building and all that. That was cool.
I think that was we didn't start in the building, but yeah, that was crazy places in Parkersburg, West Virginia. So you know that Aaron Blavos is right there from the heart of it all himself. He knows GNCC. It's a homecoming for him of sorts in a way. Justin Paul in second. Simon Bissell out of Lewiston, New York, who got the whole shot in this class. 499. Man, I thought he was going to be untouchable, but obviously the rocks had a little different story to tell, and Bissell drops to third. I think he's the point leader in that class. Is Josh Lynn, 353 out of Cole Township, Pennsylvania, runs fourth, and Jacob McMillan out of Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, rounds out the top 5. And no big major battles in that class right now. Vet B30 plus class, Mark Batson. Mark Batson is a media all-stars ride. He rides for Cunningham Motorsports, Chase Cunningham and the boys out of Moorhead Motorsports, I guess we should say. Lone Star Racing. That was a big motocross race team that has now transitioned into cross country. Mark has been leading the way there. Joe Kreselitz, the 311 running second. We might see him out of Carmichael's PA out in the UTV race in a little bit. Todd Moscala, the Marlboro man, running in the number 3 spot aboard the 57. Michael Trapp rounds out 4th place. Got an email from him that said the honeymoon's over. He's the one that wanted me to come and do 10, or his wife wanted me to come and do 10 seconds at his wedding. Well, I got an email from him last week, said the honeymoon's over. But what he did is he sent me a copy of some standings. He meant he was back in town and going to be racing this weekend. I thought, what, already? But anyway, Trapp running in the number 3 spot. He's out of out of Pataskala, Ohio, and Jeremy Gouchard out of Mansfield, Ohio, rounds out the top 5. And that's your Bet B30 Plus class, and that is your Mid-State Chevy Midway Report. Be sure to stop on down in Flatwoods, West Virginia. Tell them that you heard about them here at the GNCC, and let them know you know they stack them deep so they can sell them cheap right there. Mid-State Chevrolet, I-79, Flatwoods, West Virginia.
I'm not sure there's any place that's flat in West Virginia.
That's very true. I was wondering that too. Where in the world do you get a name of Flatwoods? Maybe there was just one small patch of woods. It was flat there, so there's the Flatwoods, and that's how you get the name of it right there. But regardless, they're selling a lot of trucks and cars down there, and I know we got a couple here with the GNCC. I think we got a new 15 on the way, quite possibly. One of them big, massive HD Super Duty trucks, man. But regardless, out here on the racetrack, don't matter what we're driving, because we're driving ATVs right now, all-terrain vehicles, four-wheelers, if you will, or what so many people refer to as quads here in West Virginia. And we are out here at the Parts Unlimited section of this racetrack right now, waiting on our leaders. Again, the new leader, Jay Shadron. There was a 10, 15, 12, 15-second gap back to second, but it was a battle,
Walker Fowler was all over him.
He was literally all over.
You almost got to be thinking, what's Jay thinking right now? He was out there leading by almost a minute. Okay, they caught him a little bit more. All of a sudden, Borge passes him, and all of a sudden, Walker Fowler's right on him in the same lap. I mean, his head's just got to be spinning right now.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
But he's learning, too. You know, he's probably saying, now, maybe I'm getting a little bit tired, so next 2 weeks I'm working a little hard to get in a little better shape. So if that opportunity comes again when I'm with those guys, I'll be a little bit more ready for it.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think he will be. I think this is the turning point for that young man right now. As we take a look, I want to look at the, since we're at the halfway point and past the halfway point now, I guess, I want to look at this overall. Remember, we do the top overall amateurs, and generally we get them from the college A16 to 21-year-old class. Right now we're looking at 19th place overall, Michael Marley. Borich leading at the 9-mile marker. Fowler now in, is that him in second? And now Chadron, so that would be second place for him, and I guess that would put at least Chadron back to at least third right now. So big changes going on right there. But Michael Marley, your junior A22 plus class leader, is your top overall amateur right now, and closest one to him is his second place ride, who's a full minute behind him. So I think that quite possibly, and third place in his class. So looks like the junior A22 plus class might have a little more experience in these rocks and taking these college boys to class. I had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Fred, we are moments away, about 5 of them, 5 minutes actually away from a white flag and the conclusion of lap number 3 right now as we continue to motor along here on Marvin's Mountaintop. Round 7 of the AMSOIL GNCC Series presented by Maxxis, and of course we'll be back with more GNCC Live right after this. And welcome back to GNCC Live, rocking out the mountaintops here on Memorial Day weekend as we kick off summer 2014.
Such a great view.
It is. It is a beautiful view and a great weekend, man. Memorial Day weekend here. Look at that right there. I love this soil here. I mean, it goes from a variety of hard-packed soil to some loamy topsoil, and the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com Mountaineer GNCC. Beautiful Masontown, West Virginia, man. I mean, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned the soil, because when the morning class came off, I was walking by some of the quads that were out there, and I could smell dirt. I mean, it's just a great smell of dirt.
Yeah, it wasn't mud. That's another
thing.
thing.
It was dirt.
It was dirt. Hey, folks, don't forget, we're getting close to the end of the race, and now's a great time for you to tweet your podium predictions. Do that to well, on Twitter, of course, your Twitter account, and hashtag it GNCCLive for your chance to win $250. Yep. And we got another new leader. Walker Fowler has pulled into the #1 spot, and the white flag is out. The race is on, Fred Andrews. Look at this, man. Talk about a barn burner. Somebody's playing with matches in the barn again, because we got fire. Smoke's coming, man. Somebody call the fire department. Right there it is. This right here is going to be a heads-up race. But, again, we talk about this. Remember, Borich has got the brake problems, and maybe Walker Fowler knows this. He's striking while the iron is hot.
I think Walker Fowler's pounced on him. He's going to take advantage of that. You know, Chris is going to say, should I just settle for second, or should I be the champion that I want to be and go after him? But, you know, if his brakes aren't working, I think he's going to try to stay close, but he's not going to push the issue.
At this point, it's a safety concern. And even I've heard him say that, you know, I don't like riding out of my comfort zone. And with this many point advantage and this juncture in the championship itself right now, Fred, as the leaders just checked in right there at the finish line, if you happen to be watching this one, I believe.
And I just noted too that Jay just went through the pit, through the finish line there, and he had his goggles off. So that makes me think maybe he's a little tired, might need a little extra air. And I think Adam McGill was right on his tail.
He was 2 seconds behind, 1.9 seconds.
His chances of being on the podium may be in jeopardy.
Maybe in huge jeopardy right now. But, you know, again, like you mentioned, man, big learning experience for him. And just because he's doing this right now, you know, heading into this Racer X last lap, the one where these guys have really got to go. It's go time for these guys. He can stop in the pits, grab a new fresh set of goggles, and if he can get that second wind, maybe he's gone into that rest mode. And, you know, that happens oftentimes. You know, you get that second breath and you take off, and these last 30 minutes could be a whole different race than the past 30 minutes have been for Jay Shadron. Yeah,
you know, like you said, a little fresh drink of something good to drink and some new goggles, and man, you only got 1 lap to go. Let's not quit now. Let's just put everything we got into this last lap, and we're really going to have an exciting lap. I think Walker, Fowler, and Borich, you know, they're going to have some excitement. So all these updates that we're going to be getting from Live TV is going to be awesome.
No doubt. I can't wait. Maybe you ought to get some updates from Barry Hawk too. I guarantee he can tell you. He guarantee he can paint a picture, telling a great story there. Walker Fowler, Chris Borich, Jay Shadron, Adam McGill. Brent Sturdivant checks in the #5 ride. We're still waiting on the 6th place position, and more riders checking in, and I think that might be them rolling in right now as we speak. Is that Biffle up to a top 10 already? No. That's Landon Wolf. Wolf's got another one of those Suzuki, so that's number 16. Wow, that's a good ride for this young rider too. So we've got 2 rookies that are hovering near or within a top 5 ride today, and that's pretty exciting considering the conditions, not necessarily the conditions, but the terrain these guys are racing in. If anybody is unfamiliar with these types of rides, it would be those guys right there.
Yeah, you know, like you said, with the track being all rocky like it is, it's a little bit different than what we've been having, and man, it's good to see the young guys that they're putting in such great rides.
Yeah, and we've been seeing a lot of that this year, I think. And I think at this juncture, I think maybe, like whenever I was saying when I was talking with the young Jay Shadron this morning, you know, he knows it's time. You know, I've had a chance. I've had half the season to check this all out. I know who the fast guys are. I know how they pace themselves. I know what level they ride at. Can I ride at that level now? And how long can I ride? Well, we see that he can do it for at least 1 solid hour. And now we got to see whether or not he can recoup after maybe pushing himself to the max and try to regain and maintain at least a top 3 position. That's going to be the exciting part of this one, as we've got now 6th place checking in. That's Cole Richardson. Richardson is the XC2 Pro-Am class leader. Landon Wolf drops to 7th place overall. He's 6th in class, but 7th overall, and he was actually the 6th guy through the finish line. Jared McClure, old Sneaky Snake, is making his way up through the pack right now. McClure out of Casca, Pennsylvania, running right on the rear wheels of, I didn't even see that, Landon Wolf. But Wolf had just passed McClure, so that might be the reason that he kind of had taken the glory away from that rider. But Landon Wolf on a mission, on a move right now. These kids are really starting to find themselves in the latter half of this race, in the latter half of this season, it looks like.
Hey, Rodney, here's a picture of the pit area. I think, we're going to be waiting to see if Walker Fowler's going to be coming in with any kind of a lead, or if Borch is going to be right on him. Well, update just came in.
1.2 mile marker. The RacerTV.com, or the RacerTV NBC Sports crew telling us wheel to 1.2, and there they are now on screen. If you're watching RacerTV.com and GNCCLive right now, Walker is out front. Chris, no brakes back there. Is the reports we're getting, and man, he's not slowing down. He's not pushing it. Evidently, he's not found himself out of his comfort zone just yet.
Yeah, Rodney, I'm a little, I think maybe he's got brakes and they come and go, because Walker, Fowler, and him are going really fast. To have no brakes, and it looks like Chris isn't really bouncing off anything, so maybe the brakes are coming and going, but whatever it is, it's going to be exciting here.
Or maybe, yeah, it might be just enough for a slowdown, not an actual stop. Regardless, yeah, I'm with you. There's got to be something going on there. There's no way that even Chris Borch, the great Chris Borch, super quad man himself, could even fathom something like that. But then again, he is a super quad rider, so maybe he can. I don't know. He has some sort of super.
I guess we'll see when Walker comes in. The back of his quads all bent up from Chris running into him, using him for a stopper.
That's it. He's using Walker for his brakes. Who needs brake pads? I got Walker Fowler in front of me. Of course, you don't want him there at the checker flag. That's for sure. So riders continuing to motor along. Temperatures still remaining quite comfortable. The sky's a lot more bluer. Still those big puffy white clouds. We woke up to overcast, cloudy conditions. A slight mist in the air this morning, looking like a huge possibility of rain. I know I was beginning to sweat it and thinking, oh my, I've prepared for an all-dry weekend and we're going to get rain, and that's not the case.
No, it's a great holiday weekend here in West Virginia for sure. Like you said, the sun's out, the wind's blowing a little bit, keeping it nice and cool.
Look at that. Look at those clouds right there. Those are just absolutely spectacular. And honestly, from Marvin's mountaintop, overlooking towards the, I guess it would be kind of the east or the west, actually due west of here is where Morgantown is located. You can see a beautiful sunset heading into Morgantown, and as the nighttime sky lights up, you can see Morgantown glowing over there. It's just a great, great place. And literally, I mean, we are basically out in the middle of nowhere, the sticks. This is the way they used to do it back before they had cell service. They used to go out and stick a phone up in the air. Nowadays, they do, it seems like, stick a phone up in there and try to get as far away from cell service as possible. So, yep, that's where we're having a GNCC. But here on top of this mountain, they can't get away from cell service. They got cell service, but we are out in God's country, no doubt.
Yep, and it's a great place.
Bjorn Hamrick telling us that they're wheel to wheel coming into the pro pits, and
Rubbin's racing.
Rubbin's racing, and Borch is trying to come underneath, according to those reports now, heading into the pits. So that means that Borch, yeah, he's not afraid to push the envelope right here, and I don't think he's still out of his comfort zone just yet.
Well, here they come. Still Walker, Fowler, and Borch, like you said, just right on his tail. And I mean, I'd have to say, if he was having brake problems, maybe they've, mysteriously fixed themselves.
Yeah, they're coming and going like you're saying. And I think, the idea of cooling those brakes down, it might just be they might be getting hot.
Or that rock could have got in and they did pull it out and it was hot and now it's cooled off,
right,
and it's working.
So that could explain
anything.
a lot too. That could explain a lot. But it couldn't explain maybe why Walker Fowler was able to chase down Chris Borch and pass him if that's the case. But at the same time, who knows? I cannot wait for the story to be told. That's what I like so much about the podiums and the conclusion of these races, is the fact that you get the story firsthand. We can only speculate.
Sit here and guess.
And guess, exactly. Guessalate, I guess, would probably be the best word on that. But, man, they tell it to you the best way it is. And we also get those tales of tales that we don't normally even know that even took place. Like last time when Borch and McGill got into it out there on that log, and got together. I never would have known anything about that had those two not told the story on the podium. And that's the great thing about GNCC. It all comes together, and it's all
looks like McGill's in third place now.
Look at that, smacking that thing like a horse, baby, up through the pro pits. And I can hear him right now on the backside. Listen to him going through the gears. That guy's having fun right now.
Yes, he is. You know, and that makes everybody have fun. When you see him doing that, slapping it, showing him he's having fun, his pit crew gets excited. Everybody gets excited because it's fun.
That's Shadron with the blue headlights. Yellow Yamaha. He's in 4th place right now. Take nothing away from this youngster right here. He's still well within contention, but amazingly, I gotta hand it to the number 521 of Adam McGill. If anybody can bring a laugh, a smile to your face during a race, it's got to be that guy right there, smacking that thing, trying to let that pony ride, man. He's trying to. Oh, he's.
Did you see how he came down the starting line for the start of the race?
Yeah, he's doing
like he was surfing. He's just laying flat on his quad. He's going down the hill. It's funny. Like you said, he's always a jokester. He's always having fun, and he wants everybody to have fun too. That's why I think the mafia he's got with him. That's why he's got so many followers, because you know they know he's all about fun.
He is the Dom of that McGill Mafia. Those guys are in full force out here in the woods right now. Black shades and ties and everything like that, and T-shirts and bruises coming out on some of these guys where they've been punched. No, I'm just kidding. Now, if that's the case, we're going to see something happen to both Walker Fowler and Chris Bortz, and then all of a sudden, miraculously, McGill's going to watch it happen, and now we're going to be like, what happened? The Mafia really did come through.
Somebody grabbed me. It was a bear.
It was the bear.
West Virginia bear.
There you go. We'll tell that story, Matt. We will not make up any more stories on Adam McGill, but what we will say, yes, he does have the Mafia out here in full force today. He is having fun. I think Walker's having fun. I think Chris Bortz might be the only one that's not having as much fun. I think he's having fun with the battle in the heat of competition. What he's not having fun with, whatever it is causing his struggle today.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, like you said, he's still having fun. He's on 4 wheels. He's moving forward. He's in contention to get some more points. It's still a good day for Chris Bortz, whether, you know, win, lose, or draw on this. He's still having fun. You know, him and Walker race well together, and they're just making things happen right now. They're going to get through this last lap, and hopefully we'll get some more updates and see what's going on.
Well, last year it was Adam McGill taking the win in a heated duel in battle to the checkers, nose to tail, with Adam McGill and Chris Bortz. The year before that, it was actually Bortz taking the win, and this year he's in a heated battle now with the number 2 of Walker Fowler. And we're going to head on over. We got some updates coming in from one of our favorite trail bosses, Lieutenant Trail Boss, as a matter of fact, Bjorn Hamrick. Bjorn, what's going on out there, buddy?
Side by side, Bortz done pulled up the side of Walker Fowler, and side by side going across the field. It was so dusty when it went by, I couldn't tell who was in front at the end.
What's it looking like out there, Bjorn, in those fields right now?
After they leave there, they're going over to the power points at a 4.5 down and a 5 down at their old wrecked car. And it's single track and off-cable roadbeds and all. It's going to be interesting who comes back out to the 6th. That's where I'm going now.
10-4. Thanks for that update there. Bjorn Hamrick, we call him our Lieutenant Trail Boss, actually took a year or so off and is back with us on a limited basis here in 2014. Love those updates, man. Giving those good North Carolina updates, and wheel to wheel, side by side. You can't ask for it. But like he said, they're coming up. They're going through that field section right now, and they're going into some tight woods, and again, rocky, off-camber, rock garden situations. Another one of those areas where who knows what's going to happen when they come out near the 6th.
Yeah, it's definitely not a long way from over, because anything can happen with these rocks and these mud and the trees out there. And speaking of Bjorn, you know, Bjorn's a great person to have back in our GNCC family. You know, he's a racer for a racer. He always puts on good events, always thinks about how we would do things and makes things fun. And it's definitely a good thing for Barry Hawk and him to be back together working and making a great track today.
Yeah, I believe, what is it, the Mid-East that Bjorn runs down south. So if any of you guys are on an off weekend down in North Carolina, South Carolina, might want to check that out. And check this out. Right now we are 15, 16, and almost 17 minutes away from a checker flag as the white flag unfurls on this one. Again, into the white flag conditions, it is Michael Marley now up to 18th place overall from the Junior A 22 plus class. So looking like he should, barring no problems in his final lap, Fred, have this one cut and dry far and away from the rest of the field. His closest competitor is the second place ride in his class, who was a full minute behind a lap ago. He's now a minute and 36 seconds behind. So that's a big buffer zone he's got going on right there for that position.
Yep.
5.5 mile marker. Look at that. 1 and 2. We got Borch back out front of Fowler now, so we keep seeing these guys going back and forth. They're, well, I like to say jockeying for position right now.
You know, right now, you know, riding from experience, they're having more fun passing each other like that because they know they trust each other. They're not worried about either one getting taken out by one another. They're just actually having fun, and it's dicing here and dicing and coming up beside each other. Actually, they're motivating each other so much they just keep on raising the bar every time they get close to each other out there.
You know, watching this one right here kind of puts me in mind. It makes me think about the days of old when Chris Borch used to chase Bill Balance. You know, these are the learning times for Walker Fowler right now. He is learning the most that he can learn. Even Chris Borch said it, you know, and Walker Fowler talked about it because Bill, whenever he worked with Bill, Walker said that Bill was always trying to tell him how to position himself in these final laps and these final turns. And, you know, this right here, Fred, as well as any part of the race, these final 10, 15 minutes are probably the most critical and most crucial in GNCC. So many variables to throw into this one. Track conditions, lap traffic. You've got yourself beginning to fatigue. The other rider you're battling with fatiguing or maybe gaining strength, whatever the case may be. But, man, I mean, this is it. You've got what they always say, and Barry Hawk used to say, try to get yourself in the right position, make the least amount of mistakes, and now's when you got to start making no mistakes, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and you have to keep yourselves focused, too. You know, you can't lose touch of what you're doing because once you lose your focus, something happens and you're not ready for it, you know, and you crash or whatever. But right now you need to keep yourself on that rider ahead of you, waiting. You know, you never know what'll happen. You catch a lapper or a slow guy, and as you can see, the nose to tail. And look, Walker's got his own line right there and put a pass on.
Fowler got it right
rocks.
there. Wow.
You know, that's the line that Walker used a lap or two ago to pass Jay right there. So, you know, Walker had that spot picked out. He wanted to make sure he was close on that downhill, and he did, and
bam.
Bam, it happened.
Wow, I love it. I get goosebumps whenever I see something like that happen. So another lead change as let's take a look at our Can-Am race recap real quick. I know we only got just a few minutes. We're about 14 minutes out from a checker flag right now. And let's watch right now real quick and watch for that third place position. How close is Adam McGill in that number 3 spot now? Is he still right there in contention? And has Jay Shadron been able to maybe make up that gap and close back up on him? But real quick as a race recap, the Can-Am race recap, simply the youngster, the rookie, took the whole shot, grabbed $250 whole shot award, and literally checked out. At one point enjoying a 40-second lead, 39 seconds at the end of lap 1. In the first part of lap number 2, he was 43 seconds ahead. At that point, whenever they came by the pro pits near the 3 mile marker, Chris Borch made mention that he was having some sort of an issue. We assumed and thought maybe it was a brake issue or possibly an A-arm. We learned that it did turn into a actual brake issue. So whatever happened there, he was able to maintain. It fixed itself. They got it fixed, whatever the case. But Chris Borch, on that very same lap, closed a 43-second gap down to 16 seconds at one point, and when they made it to the finish line was 6 seconds even, flat at the end of lap number 3, heading into the final laps here. And, of course, that was the end of lap 2, I guess it would have been. Then lap number 3 makes the pass, and, of course, as he heads off and takes off, we see Jay starting to wane just a little bit. Walker Fowler gets around, and eventually Adam McGill gets around. McGill, who struggled a little bit back in 6th and 7th, finally finding his race legs throughout the course of this race, solidifying now that third-place position, getting around Brent Sturdivant, who rode a solid race today. Brent running a great race, and not only that, we've seen a great ride out of Cole Richardson, the XC2 Pro-Am class rider, who's been within the top 5 overall on a couple different occasions today. But right now, as we roll through the final lap of racing here, looking at our Can-Am race recap, it is a dog-eat-dog, wheel-to-wheel, nose-to-tail, throw a blanket over him, barn-burning battle that is taking place of epic proportions here on this final lap of racing. I think I threw about every cliche that I could throw in. And at the 7 mile marker, we still got Walker Fowler leading cliche after cliche and leading the number 1 of Chris Borch. There's at the 7 mile marker, they got to go to 11. We're 4 out from checkers right now, my friends, translating into about 11 minutes or so. Who's going to take the checkers? Well, stick around and find out. We'll find out more about that and how the rest of this is all going to pan out when GNCC Live continues. And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin, Fred Andrews, as we come to you from Masontown, West Virginia, the RockyMountainATVMC.com, Mountaineer Run GNCC, and of course, you know, not only do we have great racing like this, but we also had youth racing to kick it off this morning, and Matt Watson caught up with our winner.
All right, guys, we're here with your overall ATV winner, Brandon Fraser this morning. Brandon, I've been saying your name a lot this season. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your season and how it played out today.
Today, holy cow. Me and Tim Soroka, we had a battle. It was full blown out, everything. It was whoever was smartest and fastest rider out there today.
I tell you, every time I saw the lap times change a little bit, saw you guys picking up the pace a good bit, back and forth, back and forth. It's been that way all season for you two guys, hasn't it?
Yeah, he wasn't here last race, so it wasn't as challenging, but yeah.
Exactly. Hey, I noticed you're not too muddy this morning, and I walked the track a little bit the last couple of days, and I didn't see a lot of standing water. Of course, there's always a couple mud holes here at the Mountaineer, but other than that, real good conditions?
Yeah, great conditions. This track was fun. It was really rocky out there, too, so.
Yeah, we like to consider this real GNCC when we get closer to West Virginia, that's for sure. Hey, anybody you want to thank today for getting you up front?
My mom, my dad, my brother, the main GT Thunder, and Elka and Max's main sponsors.
Awesome. Congratulations to you. Great ride today, Brandon.
Thank you.
Brandon Fraser coming off of his first loss of the season. He had 6 wins out of 7 races now. So what a phenomenal ride we got out of that youngster, to say the least, Fred.
Yeah, you know, that's great. I've got this mini guys, and you see how excited he was. You know, that's the fun thing, helping out the kids. Like at KR4, we have our programs. We got our mini riders, and the mini riders are so much fun to work with because they're just so happy just to be part of something and be out there having fun, and to be interviewed is even more awesome.
It is, and yeah, I know I was talking to his dad earlier today too. He's just ecstatic. You know, they come out of Avon Park, Florida all the time to come race these things, and it's no short drive for those guys, and they put a lot of heart and dedication and invest a lot into the off-road racing nation.
And the dad drives the whole way. The kid sleeps, and he wakes up, Dad, we there yet? Are we there yet? And Dad, no, not yet. Go back to sleep. So I remember those days.
Yes, sir. Amen on that, man. I know I bring my kids to the races. I get the same thing. Lap 4 right now, 1 hour, 53 and a half minutes into this one. Walker Fowler, at last check, was leading. We've had about 4 different lead changes, I think, on this final lap of racing so far. Fred Andrews, amazing battles to say the least, and this is what we buy the ticket for. This is why we come to watch GNCC racing.
And as you can see, Rodney, right now, everybody's coming over to the finish line.
Wow.
Everybody wants to see what's going to happen.
We have got a crowd really starting to form over here as we are due in about 6.5 minutes for the conclusion of this, the Mountaineer Run GNCC. And want to remind you that we will be back on live here at 4:30 following this broadcast of, or should I say Globecast, of the RacerTV and GNCC Live here. So we'll be back with UTV Live. And there is the leaders, 2 and 1. Fred, you've seen them come and talk about it.
Man, them boys are on the gas. You see, they're so close to the finish line right now that they are just flooring it up that hill.
Amazing stuff, no doubt about it. They are due in about, well, less than 6 minutes now, closer to 5 minutes now, I think. And wow, the crowd is over, and get ready, folks. Upcoming race events include today at 6:30. We told you. We got UTV coming up here at 4:30. At 6:30 on NBC Sports Network, it's GNCC on TV, the General GNCC, round 2. That's today. Tomorrow, the Mountaineer Run Bikes will take to live at 1 o'clock. On, well, 2 weeks, June 7th, we'll be at the John Penton ATV and UTV racing at 1 and 4:30. And then at 1 o'clock on June 8th, GNCC John Penton Bikes, where we pay homage to the living legend of John Penton himself, the man that basically mastered and developed the off-road racing machines into what we see them today. So here at the finish line, Rodney Tomlin along with Fred Andrews. And Fred, I know you're a motorcycle guy, you're a two-wheel guy, but I've watched you get super excited watching this race today. These are the types of races, I think, that really make you a race fan, no matter whether it's
two-wheel, four-wheel, doesn't matter. I mean, that pass that Walker Fowler put on there, I mean, we're jumping out of our seat. You know, that's what you go all day for. And Walker knows in the back of his head when he made that, does Chris have a spot like that picked out for me? So he knows it's not over, and racing's racing, you know, and that's any type, it's all exciting.
It is, and like we said, I was talking about and alluding to it. You know, now you got to minimize those mistakes. You gotta possibly be there and strike when the opportunity presents itself. And you know, having that line chosen or multiple lines coming into the final few turns, because I mean, I'm sure you know that your competition is looking for those same types of lines out there. So you're hoping to be able to come with some sort of element of surprise to take home the last few feet in the checkers.
And you wondered, did Chris kind of see that line out of the corner of his eye and say, "Oh crap, I missed it," and then boom, Walker went by him, or or did Chris never even know it was there? So it's neat when you on the last laps, because you never know what's going to happen closer to the finish, because you tend to do more homework in the last mile or so to look for them spots in case it is like that.
And we alluded to it at last round whenever we were watching Chris Borch going around. He was doing the number, looking from side to side. And I even talked to him about that this morning. I said, "You're not out there just joyriding, just checking out the woods, looking for a good hunting spot or anything." I said, "No. He's looking for lines. He's looking for the times during this type of situation in the race. Last lap, being pressured by Walker Fowler, or trying to pressure somebody. He wants to know what lines he's got to defend, what lines are going to open up that
catch a lapper."
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's a lot of things that he watches out for, and that's what he's doing. And he, even his girlfriend says, it looks like he's going slower, but he's just that much smoother and that much more confident.
Smooth is fast.
It is.
Yep.
I think Juha Salminen proved that a few years ago when he came over in 05 on the motorcycle side of things. And it's even translated well into the ATV side of things also. As we wait the leaders, I'm expecting these guys to come around sideways.
Rocks and dust flying.
Yeah, exactly. So who do you think is going to be out front? I don't know. I'm still
bumper to bumper.
I'm leaning towards Walker Fowler at this point right here, but I'm looking towards seeing Chris Borch trying to pull the pass off here in this section if he hasn't done so far.
I would say Walker Fowler too, but in that last section that was single track, Walker made a pass. So, anything's possible. These guys are making their own lines, and we're going to wait and see here. And it looks
look at that lap traffic just ahead of them, and they are nose to tail.
Yep.
Wow, wheel to wheel.
I wouldn't want to be that lapper right now.
Can you imagine the verbal abuse they're getting right now?
He's hearing a lot of bikes revving up, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. He made us pull off and crash himself.
Exactly. I'd like to talk
just
to him.
To get out of the way.
That right there, though, could be some saving grace for Chris Borch as we approach the 2-hour mark of racing, and these laps have averaged right around 30 minutes. Last time around, Walker Fowler a 29:34, Borch 29:55. Other riders just over the 30-minute mark, within the 31-minute range. So according to calculations, I'm expecting this to be right at 3 hours and like a minute, or 3 hours and 45 seconds or something crazy like that. This is how down to the wire and how well the track and course was designed today, and how strategically these riders rode it during this race.
Yeah, in 3 hours doesn't seem like a long time on a quad, but there's not a smooth line on a quad. Them guys are beating themselves up all day long.
That's right, or 2 hours on a quad, 3
2
hours on a
yeah,
motorcycle.
2 hours doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot.
Here they come, and here we are. Walker Fowler's out front. Look at this. Chris
inside.
Borch is going to cut him inside. Is he going to get him? It's a drag race.
Oh!
They get together.
Oh,
and he goes into the crowd. Chris Borch goes down. Walker Fowler takes the checkered flag. And what about Chris Borch? Is he up? I can't see just yet. We're trying to get up. Walker Fowler across the finish line. Where is Chris Borch right now? What a heated battle we got going on. And man, oh man, as we check the results right now, Borch goes by. He scores 11 seconds behind, but man, the crowd got the face full of this one, unfortunately. It looks like the nature of GNCC brings us to this right here, and that's one thing we know about GNCC fans and getting out of the way. And when you got a crowd like that, it's tough. But those guys were beating feet real hard. But man, open wheel racing the same way, Fred Andrews. Whenever you get that kind of situation, and there was nothing there that either one of those riders could do. They just literally come together right there. And unfortunately, Chris Borch comes up on the short end of the stick of that one. Walker Fowler takes his, I think, second win of the 2014 season. Borch in second. We still wait on the third place position right now, and we'll be heading over to the podium here in just a couple of moments. But right now, we wait for third place. Is it going to be Jay Shadron? Did he catch back up to Adam McGill? Last time around, Jay Shadron was your third place position holder. Right now, last check, Adam McGill was holding on to the number 3 spot when we saw him in the woods over there. And we wait with bated breath at the checker flag, and we hear the motors coming. Yellow flags are out, signaling the finish line itself, and I think that this should be sure sounded like him. I swear it sounded like him coming. It was not McGill. By the way, 1 hour and 59 minutes and 5 seconds. I was about a minute and 5 seconds off of this one, I think.
And they sure stretched that lead out, didn't they, Rodney, in that last few laps? Them guys were going fast and making time. And
they certainly were. There he is. McGill does check in. 1 minute and 44 seconds. 1 minute and 44 seconds in the third place position now. And I still haven't seen Shadron check in, but he should be coming in pretty soon. What an amazing race day. What an amazing mountain here at Marvin's Mountain. And again, our third showing here at this Mountaineer Run GNCC is certainly leaving one with a lot to remember, a lot of great memories here in this Memorial Day weekend 2014. Folks, we're going to be heading to the podium. Come join us at the podium and celebrate our champions of this Mountaineer Run GNCC in the halfway point of 2014. And we'll be back with more on RacerTV.com as GNCC Live continues right after this.
And welcome back here. GNCC Live continues on RacerTV.com. And here we are on the podium. Come on, Mountaineer race fans. Give me a big shout. Show us what you love about GNCC. What a great race. Racers and race fans alike getting a show there, and unfortunately a little bit of a craziness there as far as the finish was concerned, and hopefully everybody's going to be all right there. But I tell you, everybody's all right up here on the podium right now as we get set to congratulate one of West Virginia's own. We were talking about the Mafia. When we talk about Mafias, we talk about this guy right here. We talk about Adam McGill. Ladies and gentlemen, third place, Adam McGill. Adam, outstanding ride today. I know that coming into this one, it was one of those you never know what's going to happen. The conditions, the rocks, a lot of crazy things going on out there, and it showed out there during the race, man. It was one of those races where you had to bide your time, and it looked like it paid off for you.
Oh, man, it was good. It was a good day. I mean, we should have put a new clutch in, a new Wiseco clutch in before we came here. We're getting good life out of them, so we figured we'd take a chance. The bike fired. I think the clutch slipped right off the bottom and got kind of tucked in behind some guys. And, I mean, the start was whatever, so I was pushing down through the pack, and I think I was up to like 6th or something like that on the first lap. Come down, clipped the rock, went over the hill, hit a tree. I mean, the day was just absolute. The first lap just sucked ass. It was horrible. So we got our act together, got everything taken care of, and started putting the hammer down. And I felt really good all day. I just kept pushing. I just couldn't catch these guys. And like I said, once you lose sight of them, it's hard to run them down. So, I mean, running blind all day, I'll take a third.
There you go. As far as running blind, talk about the course, the conditions itself. A lot of dust, a lot of rocks. I mean, what was the biggest obstacles out there for you?
The dust was the worst. The rocks weren't so bad because you expect it, but the dust was so bad in the field, especially in the back of the pack like that. I think M2 got a good start, and they got away from me, and I was just like, well, it's going to be a long day again today. So just put my head down and run. I mean, I tore the bike all to hell, but I mean, I got one hell of a mechanic at home, my dad, so, you know, hats off to him. I beat this thing in the ground, beat it in the ground, and I still couldn't break it, so he must be pretty good in my books.
Must be a pretty good mechanic, no doubt about it. Good job, man. Able to bring it home to the podium after all that here in front of the home state crowd. I think you won last year here, right?
Yeah, we won last year. I was hoping to get a run for it. I mean, I kept pushing and digging. You know, like I said, these CST tires are just amazing, you know, and these companies that are behind me are just 100%. You know, like I said, Baldwin's here today, and I really wish I could have got the W, or at least went up there to fight for it, but you know what? I think he's happy for me to come from the back as he is for me to run up front all day.
I think so too, man. Who do you want to say thanks to?
Definitely thank, you know, like I said, my dad, my mechanic, he takes care of everything. As far as the race bike goes, like I said, I couldn't break it today, so Dad, I love you. Thanks for taking care of it for me. You know, my fiance, Haley, always backing me. Both my sisters, my mom, you know, my title sponsor, RacingPowersports.com, CST Tires, like I said, PirateMX.com. You know, we have Blingstar, UPP, QuadTech, Baldwin, as I said, is here. You guys want some horsepower, definitely give him a call Monday or Tuesday when he's open. Streamline Brakes, Lone Star Suspension Components. I mean, their DC Pro products are amazing, guys. And if you want to go fast, there's 2 DC Pro products up here on the podium, one on a Honda, one on a Yamaha. So definitely give them guys a call. Custom Access had me dialed all day long. Couldn't ask for a better company. Flex Handlebars, Hyper Wheels, FMF, Dirtworks, RG Honda, CalGuard, Sunstar, Cycra, Liat for keeping me safe. Like I said, I went over on the first lap, so I'm still good. Boysen, All Balls, Throttle Out, Get a Performance, making me one hellacious set of skid plates for this thing, so I can just pound through these rocks like nobody's business. Wiseco Pistons and Wiseco Clutch Products, Outerwears, IMS, Twin Air, Tire Balls.
you know, no flats all day with these CST tires and the tire ball combination. So, you know, great company, JT Racing, Garnet Boots, ODI Grips, and, you know, all you Mafia fans out there, you guys kick ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam McGill.
And I forgot one, RJR. Built me a really good bumper this weekend, but the West Virginia woods, I guess, are just a little tougher.
There you go. Adam Kurt McGill, hometown boy out here as we move over. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Put your hands together for our champ. He's second today. How about it for Chris Ballrich? Wow. 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 Chris, I tell you what, man, that was an amazing feat that we saw out there just a moment ago. That first lap, the young Jay Shadron getting out a 40-second lead. We had you 43 seconds down at one point, and at that point, things started to change. We saw you come through the pits over there. You pointed down. I thought you were pointing at something on the front end of your bike. Then we started getting reports that you're having rear brake problems. What happened out there today, man?
The shocks were a little stiff at the beginning, and I wanted to soften them up, but by the time we got going, put 2 laps in, they started breaking into where I liked them, so I was happy there. Then I ended up smoking a rock, bending a rear rotor, had no rear brakes, and just from there, it was kind of put it on cruise control, and Walker came up on me, and we actually I caught Shadron. He was rolling really well. He was, like you said, he was gone, and tried to put my hammer down there and try to catch up, and just tried to be smooth. This place is pretty sketchy in some spots, so yeah. From there, we just caught up to him, rode my own race for a little bit. I seen Walker coming up, let him come up, and then he got by me up here in the top, led the whole last lap, got packed past him. He passed me back, and then tried to put a wheel in down on here, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if he came down on me and I jumped his wheel or if I come up on him, but
it was racing, man.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. I mean, it's hopefully everybody's all right. I feel terrible.
I know you do, man, but I know it wasn't anything intentional. It was a racing incident. But, Chris, man, I tell you put on one heck of a show out there today. It's not the win that you were looking for, but salvage the second place, especially, I'm sure, at the beginning part of the race whenever things started looking bad for the brakes and the shocks and everything else. You were thinking, I just want to finish at this point.
Yeah, I knew it would all come around. It was just trying to get comfy on the bike again, but I mean, the shock, like I said, the shock started working awesome towards the end there. We were on rails for a while, but no rear brakes. I mean, it's tough out here to charge corners and all that, and I had a little bit, but I had to really jab them, and it was out of my where I like my brakes. But I can't thank my mom, my dad, my fiance Dawn, and my brother. I mean, everybody that is a big supporter of this program. I mean, the McCormicks, the Hunters, Maxxis Tires worked awesome out there today. Precision Stabilizer, MSR Gear, Yield Cycle Barn, Suzuki. My mechanic, Glenn, he's at home watching, so appreciate everything he does. Fox Shocks, Hyper Wheels, Hinson, Wiseco, CV4, NRG Controls, DID Chains, Pro Taper, ATV Innovation, Shoei, Quadtech, Amsoil, Scott, Twin Air Walsh, IQ, Acerbi's Accelodyne, DP Brakes, HMF, OIP, Tire Balls, G4, Trek, and also VP. I mean, I can't thank everybody enough.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Ballrich, second place here today. I forgot to give him his medal and his big trophy down there. I want to make sure we get this one right here, though. As we come to the center of the box, man, you talk about a wild day and making things happen. This guy right here did it like a true pioneer, man. He put his head down, he charged, he fought hard, and he made it happen to the very end. Ladies and gentlemen, your Mountaineer Run GNCC champ, Walker Fowler. Walker, you gave me goosebumps on a couple different occasions today, man. I mean, this is one spectacular race day. There's no doubt about it. Let's talk a little bit about it. Coming into this one, obviously, you got the mindset. You want to come up here. You want to win. You want to put yourself in position, and you talked about that this morning. Did you have a real game plan coming into this one?
Just get us a good start. That's key. Honestly, I didn't get a great jump, but there was a pile up in turn one, and I just made sure I went as wide as I could. Went into the woods. Actually third. Brent Sturdivant and Jay Shadron were riding really well, and actually it pulled on me. I mean, literally, as soon as we hit the woods, Jay was gone like a rocket ship. So it's super cool to see the rookie kids coming up and really setting the pace for over half the race. That's impressive, and definitely hats off to him. I was just trying to save the bike. It definitely was rocky, really sharp edge ones and spots. Just some like Chris said, just some sketchy places where it was either you really had to go fast and just jump over everything, or you just had to really go slow and smash through it. Because if there was an in between, you were coming off the bike. Made a mistake on a hill around the 7.5 maybe on the first lap. Went from 3rd to 5th, and the same thing. Just caught my breath and just kind of relaxed. Lost some more time to the front guys, and then just wicked it up a little bit. Started riding like I know how I can ride, and we got it done.
You did get it done, and done it convincingly. I got to ask you this question, though, man. Did you, at the halfway point, 1 hour mark, see yourself right here today?
I could see myself on the box. I knew the wind was going to be tough. Chris is really hard to beat, straight up, for sure. When you can get out with a good start and get a lead and make him chase you, you have a better chance. But to beat him straight up, it's not easy at all. And, oh, man, it's some mud. Oh, that's some nice mud there.
There's a little mud here. Well, you know, we saw a couple passes there. You guys were – how many times did you guys pass back and forth on that last lap?
The last lap, we went back. I passed him twice. He passed me twice. I got him. He missed a corner right here before the finish line. Actually, right up. It's literally as soon as you go on the other side of that stage, the trail kind of splits, and he got on the other side of the banner and had to back up and get back on the track, and I passed him there. He made me look pretty stupid out in this field out here, just drove right around me like I was sitting still, brakes or no brakes. I was pretty impressed. And then I just had to bonsai this boulder. Definitely didn't feel good, but we got the pass made. It was clean, and I think that was it, I guess. But just hate to see anybody get hurt there at the finish line, whatever happened. Just definitely hope everyone's all right.
Amen on that. There's no doubt about it. And Walker, I know that your heart's in the right place, man, and the people that support you know that too, man. Who do you want to say thanks to?
First and foremost, I want to thank the good Lord Jesus Christ for keeping us safe today. I want to thank the whole NFAB and Pro Yamaha team. They've been really putting a lot of effort into my program this year, and you know, to get a win and showcase what they've done is definitely awesome for them and for myself. Super stoked to finally get one. Definitely want to thank Moto Experts. Maxxis tires, track I hear was brutal, and taking a look, I don't have any flat tires. Also, tire balls are in there, and that's true testament to the product. If they can hold up in this, they can hold up in just about anything. I want to thank Hill International Trucks, Fly Racing Gear, and the guys at Fly. Chris keeps me looking good week in, week out, so definitely stoked about that. Ryan Greening at Fox, he's been doing a lot of suspension stuff with us, and everything was awesome today. I want to thank DP Brakes, Hyper Wheels, Vortex Ignitions, Outerwears, Precision Yamalube, Moto Seat, Fast, Handlebars, Anti-Gravity Batteries, Cycra, Liat, Fuel Customs, Waynesburg Yamaha, IMS, CV4, G4, Graphics, Horse Connection, GYTR, DID, Dragon Racing Fuels, D4 Power Sports, Pro Taper. Definitely want to thank the BNR crew. They're close to home, and it's good to have a place to run in, grab something real quick, and Ryan always takes care of us. Definitely want to thank these guys for another good race, and the fans. You guys were awesome again. West Virginia is definitely fun.
There you go. Give him some love, ladies and gentlemen. Walker Fowler, your Mountaineer GNCC champion, and of course got the nice big hardware to show with that. We've got a, whole shot award we're going to recognize here in just a few moments. Right now we're going to bring these riders out front and center. We're going to get a couple of quick photos. We'll go into a quick champagne celebration, and we'll also have an opportunity to, like we say, meet and greet with our, our rookie, the man that got the whole shot and led the biggest part of the race today, Jay Shadron. We'll be talking with him here in just a couple moments, and I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, we'll be back right after this.
They're the best off-road riders in the world, and they're coming your way every day on RacerTV.com. Check out all the action from the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis and AMA National Championship. With live race coverage every week and weekend wrap-up shows, RacerTV has everything you need to know about the fastest riders in the woods. It's all on RacerTV. All racing, all the time.
Second lap, and I just tried to stick with him the best I could, and then Walker got by. And then my goggles broke, and I got dusted out, and I just tried to stay with them the best I could, and came in fourth.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great job. You net yourself $250 in the process. And I got to ask you one more thing, man. What was the biggest thing you learned and the best learning experience for today?
Keep your goggles on when it's dusty.
So you learned that valuable lesson, and you can buy a few extra pair of goggles with that $250 from our friends at DeRisi Racing and Twin Air Race Support, folks. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that guy right there, Jay Shadron, the young rookie, bypassed the Pro 2 class, the XC2 Pro 2 class, which is coming to the podium right now. We should be seeing those guys on the podium here in just a moment. We'll also be checking in with Fred Andrews, I think, here in just a moment, who will be checking in with our top amateur of the day. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that might be Fred Marley that we're going to be talking with on that as we set the stage and reset the stage, I guess I should say, for this XC2 Pro-Am class. And again, don't forget, folks, coming up here about 4:30. At 4:30, we got UTV Racing, and it is Michael Marley. So where is Michael? See if we can get Michael up here and get a word in with him. I know Fred Andrews standing by someplace, somewhere with Michael, I believe. And we've also got XC2 Pro-Am class riders going to be bringing to the podium next. That's Michael over there. I tell you what, where's Fred at? Here it is. Come on up here, Michael. Let's take Fred on up to the podium up here or over here. And let's throw this on over to our good buddy Fred Andrews, who's standing by with our top amateur of this Mountaineer Run GNCC.
Okay, here I'm on the podium with Michael Marley, the amateur overall winner. Michael, you probably rode all day, didn't have that tough a time anywhere.
No, not at all.
Well, tell us a little bit about the track today. Tell us if you had any problems or what you liked or what you didn't like.
No, I got off to a great start, got a whole shot, and just cruised all day.
Yeah, you noticed in your time seemed to be working really well for you out there. Is there anybody you would like to thank here today?
Absolutely. I take Todd from Demery Motorsports, all the sick racing crew, Dirtworks, Hauser, Fox, Maxis, and my whole pet crew.
Is this your first overall, Michael?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's good memory here in the West Virginia mountains.
Thanks.
Okay, Rodney, back to you. It's Michael Marley, and the amateur overall winner.
Well, folks, that's our top amateur for the day right there, of course, and that's Fred Marley. And we're going to be back in just a moment with more of our podium presentations with our XC2 Pro-Am right after this. And welcome back to RacerTV.com and GNCCLive here from Masontown, West Virginia, and Marvin's Mountaintop, what we call the Mountaineer Run GNCC. Rodney Tomlin, Fred Andrews, and this guy right here, third place in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Martin Christopherson. Almost forgot. I was wanting to call you Chris Christopherson for some reason. I always get that going through my head. But Marty, man, I tell you, whole shot you got right there, $100 from our friends at All Balls, Bearings, and Components. Plus, you get another third place position. Your third time we've seen you here on the podium here in 2014.
Yeah, you know, it was a great race. Rough track out there. I mean, it's a lot of rocks, a lot different than New York. But, you know, we had a good start. The Tom Carlson Racing Engines motor, you know, fired right off. And that's the second one in a row for us, so hopefully we can keep that streak alive and keep the streak alive of staying here on the podium.
There you go. Who do you want to say thanks to?
Yeah, High Gear Suspension, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend Kate, CNY Power Sports, Moose Racing, GBC Motorsports, Holbrook's PCAST, Nax Racing, Quadtech, Hauser, Tire Balls, and you really needed them out there today. You know, everybody that helps out, Wrath Racing, Dirtworks, I can't thank them all enough.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Marty Christopherson taking the third place position and $100 All Balls, Bearings, and Components Whole Shot Award. Moving over here to second place position. Let's put our hands together now for Marshall Goings, the 997. Marshall, congratulations to you. You got yourself a second place position there, and a heck of a battle today, man. Talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, we kind of got off to a late start and made it up through the pack, got around Marty there, and kind of just chugged along. And Bithell came around me there, ran with ran with Bithell for a little bit. Kind of, tell you what, I kind of learned some stuff, to be honest with you. And then ended up tagging a tree, so there he goes. But then all in all, it was all right day.
All right day. So coming out with second place, you're satisfied, huh?
That's right.
Good on the championship points race too, right?
We're trying.
There you go. Are you still first?
Yes, sir.
Well, good job, man. Who you want to say thanks to?
I'd like to thank my dad, first and foremost, Todd at Demery Motorsports, Mike, big ride today, top amateur, Moore family, just the Hauser, Maxis, Flex Bars, everybody out there helped me out. I can't thank them enough.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Marshall going second place. And I have a retraction. I called Michael Marley, the top amateur there a little bit ago, Fred Marley. Fred's his brother who races this class, but that was Michael Marley that got top amateur. But the guy that got top XC2 Pro-Ams, this guy right here, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Cole Richardson, 2 for the Infab and Pro Yamaha team. On the ATV side of things, your teammate Walker gets the big win out there, Cole, and here you are back to the center of the box where we saw you the first couple of rounds, man. Talk about this day.
We actually got off to a good start, and I ended up going first into the woods. That's a start of pushing, trying to catch some of the pro guys and go off their pace, and I just rode with them for a while, and then Bithell ended up catching up to us and got new lapped riders, so I rode with Landon, Wolf, and Bryson Neal till about almost a finish, and we all just rode together and had a blast.
A blast. So one of those fun days, huh?
Yeah, nothing could have went better.
That's great, man. Who do you want to say thanks to for making this such a fun day?
I couldn't thank Toby at Meadow Experts enough because last couple rounds we didn't get off to that good of a start, and he took time out of his day to help me and Walker and get the Vortex, everything dialed in, and that let me get off to a good start and made life easier. And I couldn't thank Fox, Anti-Gravity Batteries, DID, Fly Precision, Wiseco, Tire Balls, Pro Taper, Waynesburg Yamaha, Hyper, IMS, Fuel Customs, Lone Star, Works Connection, Shoei, DP Brakes, Liette, Maxis, and Fab and Pro Yamaha, Mark, our mechanic, my mom and dad, family, and everybody that came out here to support me today.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Cole Richardson taking the win in the XC2 Pro-Am class, and these guys are getting set to head to the front of the box and get their champagne celebrations underway. And as they continue their celebrations and they wrap up their race day here today at Marvin's Mountaintop, this Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com Mountaineer Run GNCC. It brings us to the close of this particular race, but we are going to actually be back with more GNCC racing coming up at 4:45 now instead of 4:30, but we'll be back at 4:45 for continuation of GNCC from here in Masontown, West Virginia. When we pick up back up, we'll be coming at you with UTV racing. That's side-by-side racing. UTV Live coming up next on RacerTV.com. Until then, on behalf of everyone here at RacerTV, the staff and management, and all the riders and race fans, I'm Rodney Tomlin saying good day, everybody.